So just one fight. And Max Domi, in the midst of the captain, is teeing off. Is he ever? And Max Domi.
But something much worse comes for you. For when you die, it will end without honor.
Here's Bedard, and he's stopped by Garand.
Realized that he scored in his opening night. I don't want to put any pressure on you, but we're in the same number.
Saved by Soderblom on Sikora, one of those Ranger rookies.
Who are these fucking guys?
Rangers keep it alive. Score! Matthew Robertson. Comes Cooley with Sikora. Cooley slides it across. Sikora scores! His first National Hockey League goal! Always a highlight of the Rangers season.
Yeah.
Here's Fortescue. Back it comes. Score! Johnny Brodzinski with his second of the game on a play started by Drew Fortescue.
Yeah.
You know, they could be a lot worse. You know, these guys ain't so fucking bad.
Garland closing in, finds the late man, center, score! 13 seconds left, intercept Boyle, and then to the net by Saka, he scores! Arvidsson for Boston, Arvidsson delays, makes the move, and he scores on the backhand!
For tonight, our puck drop is presented by Vanda Pharmaceuticals. Gets out Barzell and Shannon, a 2-on-1. Barzell scores! Matt Barzell with a perfectly placed shot. Flipped it on for Barzell. Shannon good to the net. Rebound. Scores! Score! His pass. One-timer. They score. Bonnie. And now an opportunity for Mantha. Scores! And open again to the backhand, and he scores! Still on the Penguins, and a save by Sorokin, and he had to reach behind him, and they score! They jump them. They get to 90 points, while the Islanders are at 89. And the Islanders will lick their wounds and head to Buffalo for a showdown with the Sabres tomorrow on the road.
And that showdown with the Sabres didn't go the way that the Islanders wanted either. And this playoff race just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Big Apple Hockey. And we're going to be talking about that Eastern Conference wildcard chase, as well as, of course, the Western Conference one, which that's starting to get a little bit more interesting as well. And by the way, to address the Flyers fan in the chat, come right on in. Let's talk hockey. That's why we're here. And it is great to have all you guys here. I, of course, am your host, Mark Williams, who is a little sleep deprived today, but happy to be joining you guys for the first time I'm on air because we accidentally started up about 45 minutes ago. Sorry about the inconvenience, everybody, on that one. But joined by the man, the host of the Final Buzzer down in Florida right now, Mr. John Filkowski.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a different backdrop from what you've seen the last few weeks, but I'll be moving around. I'm making my referee debut tonight. Funny enough, I have a game, and I'll be reffing tonight for the very first time. So this is going to be interesting. But more interesting than my personal life is this NHL wildcard race that we have going down right now. I can't even believe what's going on. It seems like when the Islanders have a chance to step up and take advantage and create a little bit of a gap for themselves, they can't do anything, but the schedule seems to help them out whenever they lose. So it's crazy. I don't know what's going on here. That little weird sci-fi music you have.
A Metroid Prime. That's usually what I go with on that one.
It's pretty fitting for this. So I had a feeling it was a video game music, by the way.
Well, I like to do old video game music, and the one thing about that is I kind of can't use Duel of the Fates because that would definitely get copyright striked. Sort of like how if you guys were able to figure it out from the stills, unfortunately, at the beginning, because there was a copyright claim on the Radko Gudas fight we'll talk more about that in our pick'em segment later on. We got 3 hours of hockey talk, fun and games, guys, coming on today. So let's get
Don't you dare.
Actually, wait. I'm glad you brought that up. Before we even go to the A block, Filk, do you have your I don't give a fuck face? like you just got your arm up, you're calling the penalty, and is it nope. All right. Then you got to have the shut up or I'll give you a 10 right here. Do you want to play or you want to sit? You want to play, you want to sit. All right.
Who wants to go? Who wants to go? I'm only taking one of you. Who wants to hurt their team more? Everybody should know that line right there.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, nice lyrics you got today.
Yeah, there you go, Josh. Josh always gets it.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was.
You know what, Mark? It's not your turn to get chirped today. It's my turn to get chirped. Apparently, eat another donut, Koharski.
Oh my God, a classic line, Jim Schoenfeld. All right, and by the way, we are going to be talking about the Flyers in our A block. We're talking about the Eastern Conference wildcard chase, and also talking about them. And by the way, two cats, you're right about that one. Winnipeg 1 point out. Guess what? We're going to be talking about them as well in the Bar Talk segment. So let's get down to business and let's get to the A block, where it's brought to you by SeatGeek. Use the promo code Big Apple Hockey for $20 off your first order. And oops, I got to get that going, the ticker. And also Big Apple Hockey trucker trucker hats and shirts are available. Dave just bought one of the shirts that are remaining. We're looking to get new shirts coming out, guys. So hopefully I'll have some news on that at some point soon.
Give your balls a tug.
Give your balls a tug. Yeah. By the way, you should know. Full on Shoresy. So while we're waiting for Anthony to get back and talk about the Islanders specifically in the playoff race, let's go to the New York Rangers because they had to make a big deal about this. So we're going to make a big deal about it right back with them. Rangers were 3-1 in the last week, wins over Jersey, Chicago, and Florida. Adam Sikora getting his first 2 NHL goals. Oh, okay. How about that? I thought it was only one. I thought one of them they credited the Fox.
No. He had a goal in the first
Sunday.
Yeah,
that's right. But Drew Fortescue getting his first NHL point. Dylan Garand getting his first NHL win. Congratulations, Dylan. You won a game. Now sit behind Igor for the next 7 years. And Yaroslav Shermander, Melash. Sorry.
Did you just call him Charmander?
I just called him a Pokemon thing. So oops. See, this is what happens when you don't get the chance to rehearse first, guys. And for everybody that's joining, we do have World Prep for that. There we go. All right, but Melash getting his first NHL.
Oh, I can't wait to tell Steven about this. He's gonna laugh his ass off.
Well, remember Stanislav Netzcash back in the day. But Phil, you look at the Rangers, the bottom 5 standings, they're actually moving up in the standings to 71 points. However, don't worry, it'll never happen. It'll never happen. The three things you can always count on is the sun will rise. I love my wife, and I will definitely mispronounce a name when I'm trying to do everything on the fly.
That's not even a mispronunciation. I don't even know what that was. That's not
well, again, a brain fart. I mean, I wasn't a Pokemon fan, but I do know about Charmander. So I think that's every single time. You know, that's a great part about watching games with Maria, where she just looks at me and goes, "Oh, who's that? That's Nick Foligno. I'm not calling him that. He's Pasta Fazool." And stuff like that sticks. So I guess I'll pick it up on that too. But Ranger fans that are worried right now, Filk, that they're going to be, oh no, they're going to jump all the way to like 10th. The Rangers have the hardest schedule remaining, and we know that they fold like a deck chair when it comes to the better teams. And last night, of course, Igor Shesterkin versus Jacob Markstrom in their first career fight. Filk, are you looking at the Rangers' future and thinking brighter, worse, or the same right now?
A little brighter, I would say, just because I think that everybody's gotten a bit of a dose of the youth, and I think that's the little serotonin boost that this fan base has desperately needed for quite some time. You look at the players that have come up, and yeah, a lot of these guys have really have like bottom six roles for the future. They go and they grab Ty Cartier, and Cartier's been good for them. I still would have preferred that somebody from the organization itself, like a Brett Berard, would have gotten the call up. But
sorry, Phil, go ahead.
No, it's okay. But yeah, I mean, they're not. This Evan's right about this. They're not needle movers. They're nice pieces in the bottom six in the future. Like Hamlash looks like he could be maybe a middle six option. I think with his size and his speed, there's an unexpected amount of skill. Like I knew there was some skill to him, but I think he's more skilled than I think anyone is giving credit for. Providence College is a great program. He played there. He looked good in Hartford. So I think he's really kind of like an unexpected gem, like Noah Laba. His development has come out of nowhere. For anyone who follows Hartford very well, Brody Lamb has been on an absolute tear since being called up on his ATO. So I would say that Brody Lamb is somebody you got to watch out for. That could be another, diamond in the rough type player that can come up into this lineup over the next couple of years and help out in maybe a middle six role. I mean, Gabe Perreault really is the one needle mover that this team has right now. And like every day, every game I watch, every shift, he's always making some high-end play where you're just like, wow, this kid's just got so much skill, so much hockey IQ. I think the skating concerns might have been a bit overblown. It looks like he's improved it a little bit, but I think he's gotten used to the pace of the game and having to move the puck a lot quicker. So yeah, I like what I see there. But again, really outside of Perreault, there's no needle mover like Fortescue. I watched a lot of him at the World Junior level, winning gold in back-to-back years, and then watching him at BC and just seeing him come straight basically from college to the NHL is just it's a nice sign because again, it's another nice piece to have. So I think it looks a little brighter. I am not going crazy for it. They still need other pieces that can come along. The other thing I would say is there's 3 prospects right now that I look at and I say to myself, those guys I think could be key contributors to the Rangers for the next, 5 to 10 years, if not more, hopefully. You got Liam Greentree, who has absolutely been on a tear since he's been traded. I think that really kind of just like pissed him off. Nathan Aspinall, who is one of the scoring leaders in the OHL and the OHL playoffs, he's been on fire in the playoffs. And then now he's teammates with newly acquired Ranger prospect Jacob Battaglia, who came the other way in the Brennan Hoffman trade. And Jacob Battaglia is also one of the top scoring prospects in the OHL playoffs right now as well. So I know these guys, I would say with a combination of those guys and the guys that are on the roster already, you have a brighter looking future. But yeah, I would say it's brighter, but you still need some more pieces that really project this true top 6 and first line pieces.
It's the same for me. It's the same. I made the joke earlier about Dylan Garand. Hey, look, Dylan Garand's putting up great numbers. Just going from the top of my head, 954 save percentage, and I think it's a 154 goals against he's got going on right now. Hey, congratulations, kid. You worked your way up. You're putting up great numbers in the NHL. Sit behind Igor for the next 7 years. this was what we cautioned earlier last season. That now you locked in Igor, who wanted to fight last night. And am I not the only one that's not excited about that? Why is Igor going to fight? You have a history of injuries. And by the way, he's got a history of injuries. Sorry, people. He does. And he's got a bit of a hothead streak. Something happens. He has to go throw a punch. You almost got your absolute dome wrecked last year when you went one-on-one against Brady Tkachuk. Stay in the net. Let your boys handle it. Because, by the way, they were handling it. There was two people on Paul Cotter right there when it all happened. And it also was, he was challenged. But guess what? You don't have to challenge. You didn't even have to get up out of the crease and go at guys. All right, but I'm not trying to take the joy out of it, guys. I just don't want to see him going the same route Rick DiPietro did when he got challenged by Johnson, got hit in the side of the head, and he's been donezo since then.
Oh, there's your path to Dylan Garand getting in net.
Okay, and then how does that work with the cap and long-term injury reserve now? So I mean,
he would be LTI. He would be LTI retired if that is the case. Not that that's going to happen or that anyone's wishing for it to happen, but that's. I mean, listen, I got no problem with you being mad that he's fighting, but in this,
I'm more like. By the way, I'm more like Jerry Maguire when he's like, I hope he doesn't get hurt. That's the way I look at it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Listen, I have no problem with having concern for the goalie, but especially against a guy like Tkachuk. Like, this is not Ray Emery fighting Andrew Peters. Ray Emery was a junior Golden Gloves boxer who knew how to handle his own, and he absolutely mollywopped Marty Biron, former friend of the show, by the way, in that contest. But I'll tell you right now, like, Igor this has just been boiling over. This is the guy. Listen, he flops a bit, and I'll be the first to admit that he is quite the flopper. But he also takes a ton of big bumps in that net, and the fact that he had to go and do that, and he got tired of being ran basically here, like Rich was saying. So if that's the case, then you know what? Let him stand up. Let him do his thing. I mean, at this point, like Dwayne's saying, at this point, why not? Like, the season's over. There's nothing else really to be done here. If he misses the rest of the season, does it really matter? Like,
okay, let's say this, because also Ranger fans, let's not go too far back. There was a goalie that the Rangers had 20 years ago, looked promising. Everything was going well for him. He got injured lifting weights.
That's different. That's different.
Okay. Well, what happens if with Markstrom, Igor got pulled down last night, tries to brace himself, dislocates his shoulder, can't lift his arm above his.
That's completely different. Damn.
Well, it's completely different. But guess what? You want the money? You're getting paid $11.5 million. You know what? Stay in your net. Henrik didn't do this. Mike Richter didn't do this. I'm not against the fun of this. It's just you got to exercise caution.
Richter had, over his career, Jeff Bukaboom, Joey Koser. He had Mark
Domi, Chris King,
Ty Domi, Chris King, Shane Sherla, Marty McSorley, Bill Berg, guys that all would have dropped the gloves, and Ryan Vanderbush,
Darren
Langdon, Sandy McCarthy, Steve McKenna,
Rich Pilon at the end.
Exactly. Like, I have no problem with this. Adam Graves is another one that would have absolutely
Gravy. But again, this is one of those things that I'm not trying to take the fun out of this, guys. It was fun. You're sitting there going, oh, hey, this looks great. But on the other hand, that could go sideways real quick. So it's like a couple friends shoving at the bar that they don't understand why I look at them and go, guys, stop. Like, whoa, we're just playing around. Yeah. And then one guy takes a nut shot, and the next thing you know, they're throwing haymakers. That's why you stop it before it starts. Sorry, guys. That's the way I got to look at it. But looking at the prospects also, Phil, while we're at it. Yeah, you know what? That is a good point. Markstrom was just trying to tell Igor how good of a game he was having. Also, I forgot what Markstrom's quote was. It was actually really good. I wasn't having a good game, but I had to go and do something or something like that. But I gotta look that one up. However, also can't help but look at this and go, everybody's celebrating some of the youth that's around. Connor Sheary is still getting big minutes on this team. So 5-year extension coming, full no trade clause for a guy that scored 120 goal season. Thank God it's all coming together. Ty Cartier once again is proving the Rangers always will give someone from outside the organization more of a chance than someone from within the organization. And
this is the good cop, bad cop segment. You obviously know that I'm the good cop, and this is the bad cop over here because this has turned into negative Apple hockey. So,
I mean, and I'm not so negative. It's just there needs to be an organizational philosophy that's different. And you know what? The Toronto Maple Leafs were smart enough to fire their GM. Just giving you a hint, Jimmy. And we're going to talk about.
I wish.
Oh, we're going to talk about the Maple Leafs and the Rangers owners later on in our pickup segment. But let's also let me wrap up what I'm saying right here. It's because it's not a surprise. Gabe Perreault now in his second season. No.
Here. All right. So I'll lay it out.
I like what I've seen out of Cartier, but come on.
I don't have a problem with the player himself. I don't. The player is not a bad player. The problem is that the opportunity should have came to someone within. Like, why wasn't this Hemelash at first? Like, now the Hemelash comes in when Laba's hurt, and like Mike MYR for Life is saying here, he came in at a time when Laba was hurt, and he's basically earned himself a spot. Like, this is that's a 6'5", 6'6" guy that can skate really fast. And has some skill. It's like Edstrom. You know, the Rangers want to build this. They want to build a team that's big, fast, and tough to play against. And guys like Edstrom and Hemelash absolutely fit that mold. Laba fits
Connor Sheary.
Well, Connor Sheary, I wish would be gone, but I unfortunately can see an extension for him too, and I don't like the prospect of that because he needs to be gone. The nepotism favors need to stop, like right now.
Oh no! All you got to do is go in and say Boston sent me, and you're in. That's all you have to do with the Rangers. All you got to do is say Boston. It's like the code for the pig.
I hope so, Sean. I really
no. He's going to be here, guys. He was a PTO that was going to be here. And maybe fourth line, maybe spot start if you need him to go a little bit higher. He's been here the full year. He's got 5 goals. What are you doing? He should have been gone in December. So I'm trying not to be too negative because after all, I got a Flyers fan in the chat and they're doing things right. The Rangers, they still don't know about that. So all right. So let's get to the New York Islanders. And the New York Islanders, who they true to form with the New York Islanders. You beat Dallas, you beat Florida. After Florida takes a 2-0 lead on that absolute beauty of a goal by Matthew Tkachuk. We could have thrown that in our pickup segment too. All right, Phil, which one was better? Matt Tkachuk's between the legs goal that he had the other night versus the other afternoon versus the Islanders, or last night's Tyler Bertuzzi, Dennis Savard impression?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go Matthew Tkachuk because that move was out of nowhere and that was on like a partial break-in. And I remember when he did the one years ago in Calgary.
Yeah,
I think it was against Nashville when he did it, and was it an overtime winner?
He did one, yes. I think he deflected.
And it was from far out, too, that he did.
Yeah, from the high slot.
Yeah, it was pretty far out. I mean, that one that he did last night is almost as nice as that one in a different way. Like that, the fact that he was able to get that type of shot off from that distance is unreal. But the fact that he just pulled that move out of his ass, being harassed on a partial break-in, like in tight, is just wow. Yeah. So I'm going Matthew Tkachuk here. No disrespect to Tyler Bertuzzi and the Savardi and Spinorama that he basically pulled off.
So, but also true to form, Phil. Then the Islanders take the 3-1 lead over Pittsburgh. And then, to borrow a reference from Star Trek: The Next Generation, Shaka and the walls fell, and suddenly they're down 5-3. And thank you.
Oh, I gotta actually, Tuddy, I gotta ask you a question, bud. How disappointed are you that Taryn Hatcher was basically let go by the Flyers and the organization there, and the network, because she was great, and I'm not gonna lie, she's absolute a sight for sore eyes. So great at her job. I hope that she picks it up somewhere soon, because she was with the Flyers previously, and then she went and was with the Phillies, and the Phillies basically just let her go. So yeah, a little off topic.
Oh, it's good to expand the audience. That's what we should be doing. And well, then after midway through the second period, the Islanders just have not been that great in Pittsburgh. Then they went to Buffalo. They never led in the game. They tied the game at 2 with about 6 minutes remaining, and then minutes later, they left Alex Tuch wide open on the back door, and he puts a top shelf on Ilya Sorokin. And you look at the Metro standings, the Pittsburgh Penguins winning last night, open up a 3-point lead on the New York Islanders. I think they got the Islanders in their rearview mirror. No offense to the Islanders on that one. However, the Islanders, they got Columbus 1 point back. The Flyers are at 86. And even with Washington's win last night, that now kind of puts them into shouting match. We're going to get further into the wild card chase in a moment. Here's some of the wild card numbers right there. But you look at the Islanders, their last 6 games. They host Philly, they go to Carolina, they host Toronto and Ottawa, a 4-day break before they get Toronto. So the standings might be completely different by the time they play Toronto. But then it's Ottawa, Montreal, and Carolina. 5 of the last 6 are at home. Bill, Islanders playoff odds, according to Money Puck, 52.7%, higher than it was last week. They had the second hardest strength of schedule because, of course, the New York Rangers are number 1 at 0.612. I got to slow down a little bit. But can the Islanders hold on right now and make the playoffs?
This is interesting because I look at the standings and I look at their schedule, and their schedule is pretty hard. You got to remember, Carolina's been a thorn in their side for years. And they've got 2 games with Carolina, one coming up, I believe, Saturday, and then another the very last game of the season. So the only saving grace is that last game of the season, Carolina should probably have a playoff spot clinched by then. The question is whether or not they have the division clinched. They're 8 points ahead of Pittsburgh, and you would imagine they probably do clinch the division. So did they sit those guys for that last game of the season? Maybe if that's the case, the Islanders, come out guns ablaze. But the good part about this is for the Islanders is that they're going to be playing playoff hockey for about a month going into the playoffs. And I always look back at the 2002 Anaheim Angels that won the World Series, and they had been playing playoff baseball for about a month heading into the playoffs. And they caught fire at the right time because they were playing that type of intensity, that type of intensity of baseball, all the way through. So, I would say I think they do, but they need to start playing better. They have 6 games left, and you talked about this. You had the lead against the lead against Pittsburgh, they fall apart. And then they have the game against Buffalo. They tie the game twice. They're down 1-0. They tie the game twice. The second goal was a fluky goal, went off of Owen Power skating in. But it's just they don't play well enough to win it. And they need to start closing games out properly. Like, you cannot be blowing leads. That game against Chicago was an atrocity. Like, I don't know what they were doing in that game, but I don't know if Patrick Waugh doesn't have them prepared well enough. I don't know what the situation is, but they need to get things together. Sorokin, you could count that Pittsburgh game as a one-off. He's not that's the worst performance of his career, probably.
And it's not really that it's all on him either on that game.
No, because it wasn't. There were too many defensive breakdowns, too many odd man rushes against. Matthew Schaefer, for as great as he has been all year, I think that he is finally starting to hit a little bit of a rookie wall. And I would say, because he's making mental mistakes that look like they're coming from fatigue. And that's what happens. You warned about it. You were all over that, Mark. You warned about it, that you cannot be running an 18-year-old defenseman 26 minutes per game and expect some sort of, fatigue. Like, he's great, but they have got to figure out ways to mitigate his ice time and delegate it to other defenders. Other defenders are going to have to step up. He can't be doing everything, because even just last night, the third goal, the goal that Peyton Krebs scored to win the game, like, that was his guy out front. That was his guy. He was puck watching down low, didn't even see Krebs creeping in, and Krebs was wide open all alone for that pass. I mean, you cannot have that. You cannot have that. So, again, you need your guys to step up. Like, and scoring wise, where is the offense here? Where is the offense? They're getting what, 3 goals a game? That's not going to be good enough to win on most nights. Like, you're going to have to start pushing a little higher than that, because you're Horvat, great, cool. Where's Duclair? Where are your other guys? Barzal needs to put in a timely goal or two. Like, yeah, I know he had one against Buffalo, but you've got to have something more than Bo Horvat, Matthew Schaefer, and Ilya Sorokin leading your charge. This is where your other guys have to step up. Holmstrom, he's been good. Emil Heineman, 20 goals, but where is he? Where is he? You need more from him. And this is why depth matters. Braden Shen had a big goal. He's been okay. I still think they gave up a little too much for him, but again, like, you need to, you know what? Listen, this is absolutely right here. They didn't move on from JG Pajot and Kyle Palmieri, and they have guys like Kyle McLean in the lineup. I'm sorry, McLean's not really an NHL player. He's a fringe guy that could come in as a good 13th forward. And Gatcombe, the same thing. They're nice energy guys, but they're 13th forwards, the both of them. You need a better fourth line. You need 2 guys that are capable of putting up offense besides Cizikas. Because what's the one common denominator between that identity line and the line that they have now as the fourth line? It's Cizikas. Cizikas is the glue on that fourth line. But he needs someone with him there. And those 2 guys, again, nice depth pieces that can come in a pinch and be on your fourth line. But the Islanders absolutely needed more firepower. They did not get it. I still don't get the Palat trade. I still don't. It should have been Coleman. I'm going to go back to this, because you can look at that Pittsburgh game and say, if they miss the playoffs, you have to look at the Pittsburgh game. Not just that, but if they miss the playoffs, you have to look at Matthew Darche. I'm sorry, but Shen and Palat were not enough. Carson Soucy was a nice little addition. Didn't cost them much.
Not so much.
What's that?
Now, not so much.
But listen, I love what Darsh did to start his career here.
Agreed.
I loved what he did. I questioned the Duran signing, and he ended up, you know what? I got to give him a lot of credit. He made that Duran signing and realized he made a mistake and got rid of him. Good for you, because there's a guy on the other side of New York that won't make those same adjustments when he realizes he makes a mistake. So good on Matthew Darsh.
Oh, by the way, while you're at it, in New Jersey as well.
Yeah, well, that's another story too. But good on Matthew Darsh to get rid of Drouin when he realized that Drouin wasn't going to work away from Nathan McKinnon. But I mean, yeah, I don't like his I don't like his work since then. I don't like his work since the offseason. I think that he just hasn't made the right moves. And I get you don't want to give up your assets and your top pieces, but there was a guy right across the street that could have helped them out at center. And they could have given up some of those assets that they have. And I mean, you gave up a pick and Sipilkov for Andre Palat, who was just washed. I don't understand that. I mean, I get the affinity for being in Tampa, but Blake Coleman should have been your guy. And then you go and get Braden Shen, who you probably should have tried to get 2-3 years ago if this was going to be the case. Robert Thomas should have been their thing. That they should have been all in on it. If you were going to go and make a move that was going to help bolster your team, Robert Thomas would have been the guy, and they should have met the ask on it. So,
well, one thing I love is when the Islander fans were kind of happy with that trade.
Don't you dare.
Oh, I always say I didn't see that one. Don't worry, full no trade clause.
This is TNA Hulk Hogan all over again.
Well, again, Islander fans that were giddy about that Palat signing because he scored a goal in his first game or trade in the first game against the Rangers, and he's got all this playoff experience. 24 games with the Islanders, 1 goal, 3 assists, and he's a -5. Yeah. So not exactly as giddy about that. I do have to say, I'm going to defend Darsh a little bit, and maybe it's because I was so impressed with him early on. But Phil, one question I have is how much of it was the asking price in Calgary? And then he goes, well, I got to help the team now, so let me pivot instead of trying to go back and renegotiate. Look, we're going to be talking about the full Eastern Conference playoff picture in about a minute. So it's you look at that Islander schedule and the remaining games they have left. You know what? Patrick Walsh should just walk into practice today and just say, you guys want to be in the playoffs, bud? That's all you want to do. Because if you want to be in the playoffs, you're competing against the Flyers. You got to beat them. You might see Carolina in the playoffs. Got to beat them. Toronto is the only also-rans or non-factor, but they're also doing a little bit better. Ottawa, you saw what they did to the Rangers last week and what they've been doing with the teams. They've been closing everybody off, and then they got shellacked last night, but that's a different story. Montreal is looking to make a name for themselves and get in the position. And lastly, everybody looking at that Carolina game and going, oh, maybe Carolina's going to rest the people. Nope. Carolina is not going to want the Islanders in the playoffs. That's been a pretty good rivalry with the playoff series these teams have played against each other the last few years. So I would say Carolina's looking to knock them out. So it's just that simple. Do you want it? And it's got to be more than Ilya Sorokin. So I'm still going to be on the Islander train and say that they can make it. But you got some hungry teams in the Eastern Conference and the wild card playoff chase, however you want to say it, because it does include the Atlantic Division and the Metro Division as well. So let's get to that. Let's get to the Eastern Conference. Just absolutely crazy playoff chase. Phil, is this the best playoff chase you can remember starting with that question?
Wow. Yeah, this is probably the tightest I think I've seen it. I remember the playoff chase in 2001 was pretty interesting. The Rangers were in it for quite some time, and then the whole Richter goes it tears his ACL going post to post against Steve Sullivan in Chicago. I was literally at work watching that game at my very first job, and then Fleury goes into substance abuse program, and Hebert and McLean and all those guys. They couldn't hold it together. Leach was having the year of years. The checkmates line was great. But that 2001 chase was fun. 2002 was fun because of Bure. Bure came in and almost willed them to the playoffs. But there have been some other really tight races over the years. I will say this. I don't like the playoff format, but I do think the wild card has kind of opened up playoff races because – in the previous formats, it was a little different, so it would have been harder for some teams to be in the wild card race. But I definitely think this is the tightest I've ever seen it.
This has been an amazing race so far, and I got to say for this, last week it might have been I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago. I posed a question at Pick'ems who's could get knocked out by the Columbus Blue Jackets because the Blue Jackets were still hot. And my answer was the Boston Bruins because something about them. Well, the Bruins decided to listen to me and turn it on. They're the team that's actually hot right now. We're going to talk more about them in the Bar Talk segment in about 20 minutes. But this race, it's been incredible because in the East, everybody's trying to win to get in. And then you get a game like, or the last 2 days for the New York Islanders. They go disastrously wrong. And then somehow they get luck on their side. Detroit loses. Flyers lose. And the Flyers, and I'll get to the Flyers in 1 second on this. And as a matter of fact, the Capitals. But Columbus loses. Everybody they needed to lose lost. And you're like, it's not like the West where the West you look at it and go, does anybody want this? And now the West is starting to become, you know what? We'll take it. If you don't want it, we'll take it. This is more that all the teams are just in a battle royal and they're just pitting each other and knocking each other senseless. I can only imagine it's like the greatest Royal Rumble you've ever seen in your life, Phil. But this is
almost the references in the chat right now. This is great.
Right. This is almost like the fight, the Anchorman fight for me, where it's
almost done, bitches. Spanish action news here.
So. And eventually somebody's going to be Luke Wilson sitting there with a knife, and the next thing you know, oh man, I did not see that coming. That's the way this is, and all these teams are. And this has been the magic of this. This has been the magic of this entire race because this is one of the rare times all these teams are playing each other. Like you look over, the Islanders still have to play. Obviously Ottawa and the Flyers. And then you have Columbus that has Buffalo and the Detroit Red Wings are on their schedule. They even get the Winnipeg Jets and the Capitals, and they're considered the easy game. Like it's crazy. What's this one?
Yeah, Brick, you might want to lay.
I feel like the man in the heart with a trident. But this has been an amazing race. And we still have 6 games left for the New York Islanders, and they have the fewest games remaining. And just think about this. And then here's the other thing, Phil. It's almost like Super Smash Brothers, where you're fighting things, and all of a sudden you see player X has entered the match, like the Philadelphia Flyers, that suddenly the Capitals are back in there. I mean, hold on to your butts the next week and a half because it's
this is pretty accurate right here. Brick walking around with a freaking grenade. I'm riding a furry tractor.
But this has been absolutely amazing, and you know what? I can't wait to see what's in store for us next week. And it does Phil, this does make almost every night must-watch viewing. Hell, we're just looking at the West and what you got tonight. All Western Conference games, only 3 games. You got
Tuddy,
the Blues and the Kings going on.
welcome to the Rangers fan base, buddy. We've been saying this for like God knows how long this season, that we'd rather watch this team lose with the young guys and then have someone like Connor Sheary taking up any minutes from anybody. The Rangers killed a guy.
Oh no, I think we might have to say unalive. That's still one of the dumbest words in the English language. But then you look, by the way, you look at Thursday alone, you have the Flyers and Red Wings. The Jackets go against the Hurricanes. I mean, Capitals against the Devils. Maybe the Capitals get back. This is going to be absolutely breathtaking, I think, the next week. And I can't wait to see it. And we're going to be sitting here next Wednesday talking about it all over again. All right. We didn't get Anthony in, guys, but we will get him in soon enough because we got Bar Talk coming up right now. Stay with us to do Puck Doku and Obscurities. And let's get into NHL Bar Talk.
Let's kick it into high pace. Grab your mates, it's time to unlock NHL Bar Talk.
Layup, get the damn hoop.
We go shot here.
The easiest I've ever dancer.
I'm actually going to go crazy. I'm going to buy everybody around.
We're all in this game, let the good times shake.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to Big Apple Hockey's Bar Talk. We're gauging our confidence on these NHL topics based on our choice of drink. Are you so confident that you're buying everybody around? So I'll have a beer. Oh, God, do I need a shot? Throw your comments down in the comments. I don't know how many more times I can say comments right there. Make sure you comment. Also, just as a reminder, until I get a better sponsor as well, Boss Croakers has Wing Wednesday tonight. Come on down. 40-cent wings, $2 tacos, $4 Millers, and Yinglings. That is in Wanshaw in New York. And if you come down at least 4 nights a week, you get to talk to this guy who is overworked completely, but happy he has a night off that I very much am going to be happy to spend that with the missus. All right, let's go to some of the news that happened last night, Phil. And it was Mika Zibanejad winning the Stephen McDonald Extra Effort Award. And again, Stephen McDonald has always been one of the great figures, not associated with the New York Rangers, but yet also associated with them. Always celebrate his dedication to service, even after suffering an injury that put him into a wheelchair for the rest of his life. So always remember that. And a guy that won it the most. Oh, by the way, who did win it the most, Phil? Do you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, they hinted at it God knows how many times last night, but his name might be in the rafters.
Yeah.
I think it might be. I think it might be award number 9.
Yeah, so it's Andy Bathgate?
Yeah, definitely Andy Bathgate.
No, it is the man, the myth, the legend, Adam Graves. Second most is the guy that can't develop any prospects. That would be Jed Ortmeyer. But let's go to the guy that won it last night. And Phil, Mika Zibanejad was the most logical choice for the Extra Effort Award.
I'm just going to get a I'm just going to pull up a comment here. Where is it? This is it. So I'm going to say beer because I think Sam Carrick could have absolutely won it. I really think that if there was any time to select a player that was no longer with the team, this would have been the guy to do it with. But I'm okay with Mika Zibanejad winning it. He's on a nice year. Despite all the turmoil and everything that's been going on and the losing and everything, this is definitely got to be sarcasm. I knowing Rich, if it was Sean or David Wood, I would absolutely say sarcasm because just those two are completely sarcastic all the time. But Sam Carrick could have won it, but Zibanejad's deserving. So I'll say beer just because Sam Carrick would have been the other guy that I could have, if I wanted to give it to a rookie, Noah Laba.
Yeah, you took my answer.
So,
yeah, you stole that one from me because I had Noah Laba locked and ready. However, I am going to say, yeah, it's Mika's advantage. I'm going to go round on this one for me because, look, I have been harshly critical on Mika's advantage, and I'm going to say with this one, especially the turn of the calendar year to 2026, Mika's advantage earned this a lot. And as he's moved back to center, because let's not forget, he was on the right wing for a long time. And it looked like he was going to be the guy on the wing and JT Miller was going to be the center. And instead, now he's sort of leading the charge. He might be, you could say Gavrikov too. Gavrikov's another.
Yeah, Gavrikov is, you know what? That's actually a really good one. You know what? I never even thought about him, Rich. But yeah, I like that for Gavrikov. Gavrikov, I mean, you got to say this. Gavrikov has been one of the better free agent signings that the Rangers have had. I mean, maybe even their best since Artemi Panarin. When you look at it, like Gavrikov came in, he gave them a nice discount because we all heard the rumors about him getting Provorov type money, that $8.5 million. He signs for $7 million. He comes in and he puts up career highs in goals and points while playing.
Well, it will be points. Oh no, it is. He got 33.
So
sorry, Phil. I stepped on you because I just want to let you know he had 33 in Columbus. So it's
so he's still well, you know, it's still goal. All right, career high in goals. Yeah, I mean, he has a chance to match that career high or break it within these next remaining games. But yeah, I do. I love Gavrikov as an option. I don't understand why he wasn't even. Yeah.
Well, because maybe he's the high price. Everybody's the temptation of this award is always look at the role players like your Jed Ortmeyers, like your I mean, Adam Graves really wasn't a role player, but I mean Ryan Callahan, who fit more the Adam Graves mold than a lot of other guys. But you look at the lesser guys and say they're the extra effort guys. And then you realize you get the guys like, say, for instance, Henrik Lundqvist, that's a budding star. I believe he won it in 2006. Matt Zuccarello won it. I think it was 2014. And then there's guys that they win it and look, you give it to them. And look, they earn it. But sometimes the stars earn it. And it's not just the guys that are the middle six or even bottom six. You know, Mika Zibanejad could have just, he's getting paid. He's got a no move clause. He's not going to go anywhere. He just packed up his toys and went home. He has been a difference maker in the second half of this season, basically since they traded Panarin. And he's got a 30-goal season. He hasn't had one in a little bit. And you questioned his effort time in and time out and game in and game out. I'm not questioning it anymore. And I think you're starting to see Mika Zibanejad sort of come out of this fog that he was in reality, like the last two seasons. It was easily the last two seasons. Now that one-timer's hitting the net. He's skating with confidence. I think, you know what? I'm not ready to get on that loudspeaker and say, trade this guy, get him out of here, as much as you got other guys that were trying to say that about for a while. And maybe JT Miller could take some page from that. I mean, I don't know. Just kind of spitting that out there. But Mika's been instrumental to the graduation, if you will, of Perreault and Lafreniere to actual NHL players. I mean, who would have thought you play Gabe Perreault more than 10 minutes, he would actually like blossom? Or Lafreniere, you actually give him a role where he's on the power play, and suddenly he's putting up a point per game. Who would have thought that one? It's crazy when you got these factors that are in there. I mean, it's amazing when that happens. So again, Mika deserves all the credit in the world for this. And I think he should enjoy it because I think he did win it in, I want to say he won it. Oh, no, they didn't get a chance to hand it out in 2020. So I think he did win it once before. I think he won it in 2019, but I'll check that in a minute. Let's go on. We're going to skip the Islanders right now because we're waiting for Anthony to get back, but we're looking at the Eastern Conference wild card once again. Now, again, the Washington Capitals have now entered the fray after last night's win, but let's look at that second to last team right there, the Philadelphia Flyers. And Phil, the Flyers have been coming on. They've been playing some great hockey. Their last 10, they got they're 7-2-1. And a lot of people, they wanted to run Rick Tocchet out of town. Not so much anymore. But are you ready to say this? The Flyers rebuild is over.
Beer. They have some good young players on this team. I mean, Tuddy was talking before about Alex Bump, who would come up, and he's made his debut. He's only 22. Noah Cates is still young. It looks like he's developing into a player. I mean, they've got some other guys. Tyson Forster has not had the year that you expected after the year that he had last year. Same with Matvey Michkov. They've got some pieces, but I think that they need to add some younger pieces. Like Travis Sanheim's now 29. Like he's again, like you're looking at somebody like that and saying, "Wow, he's 29 already." Like he's going to be 30 in March. So Cam York looks good. I can't believe Cam York is 25 years old already. Trevor Zegras, same 24 going on 25. Owen Tippett is 27, I believe now. But they need some other pieces. Porter Martone is going to help big time when he gets up there. And he really starts to get his feet under him. I think you're going to see a player that'll help change around their top six quite a bit. But if I'm a Flyers fan, I want to see another top six forward, another future top six forward added to this roster. And I want to see another young top four defenseman added. I think that the Flyers, at least they have a good general manager there. I think in Danny Briere, I think Danny Briere gets it. And having a younger mind that's played, that understands that you can't just overlook guys because of their size is a great thing to have in your management position, especially that high up. So I don't think it's over yet. Do I think they're going to be worse than this next year? No. I think Michkov is going to have a bounce back year. That's going to help. They're probably going to need to figure out what's going on in goal going forward long term. Is Sam Ersson the guy going forward? Is Dan Vladar the guy going forward? Like who is the guy there? They got to figure that out. They got to shore up their defense a bit. And then I think they would like to add some bottom six depth to complement guys like Couturier and whatnot. If Couturier can stay healthy and be a solid bottom six contributor, because at this point, that's after the injuries and the aging, I think that's really what Sean Couturier is. And it's not a bad player to have. I mean, he's still a very good two-way guy. I just think that they need a couple more pieces before I'm really sold about them being a contender going forward.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with them. They're getting really close. This is where I like to say, and I'm going to clarify it by this. The rebuild itself is over. So I'm going to go around on this one, because what I mean by that is, you guys hear me say this, especially over the last month. There's a time where you have to stop rebuilding and start building. And that's where the Flyers are now. Now you can start adding pieces to really help this team take that next step. And there's definitely going to be some blood in the water, because New Jersey's taking a major step back. The New York Rangers is taking a major step back. I don't know whether or not the Rangers saw the Flyers or the Blue Jackets coming, Let's just use that line from borrowing it from another clueless owner that we'll talk about later. But you look at what this team is doing, and they're doing it the right way. They're doing it with youth. And you mentioned the general manager, but the president's on the same page too. Because Keith Jones wants to build with youth and go from there. Vladar has turned in a very good season, but you look at what Sam Harrison's done the last month, just since the Olympics. He's only played 6 games. He's 5-0, and he's got a .933 save percentage, 146 goals against. If the Flyers somehow are able to sneak in, maybe that's the guy you put in to start the playoffs, and then he makes the next step. I thought Urson looked like he was going to be the guy a couple years ago when I want to say when Carter Hart went down. But as far as Matvei Michkov goes, I think they need to take the foot off the gas with him. I think they need to go over to Rick Tocchet, pull the mask off, and find out he's John Tortorella underneath, and be like a Scooby-Doo moment. Oh, I would have succeeded if it wasn't for you meddling kids. But and we'll get the torts.
Scooby-Doo moment.
And we'll get the torts in a second. But you've seen Zegras bounce back. This team, I think they're poised to take the next step. If it's not this season, you will see them, I think, in the playoffs next season, even though the Eastern Conference is going to be dominated by the Atlantic Division for the foreseeable future. And that's one thing I do like about this playoff format, that you can get 5 teams from one division, 3 teams from the other one. I mean, the Metro dominated for a while too. But now you're going to see, I think you're going to see the Flyers, maybe if not this year, it might be next year. And it's puts other teams on notice. It lets the New York Islanders know, you think your rebuild's going good? Nope. You got work to do too. Same thing with Columbus, that they're still trying to right that ship. And it looks like maybe Rick Bowness hit the right nerves, but even he's got a shelf life. Most coaches do. There's a reason why he doesn't stick around anywhere long term. But his last 2 spots, you can't argue with the success that he had in his last 2 spots. So I do think Tocchet's going to be the guy. He'll get him into the playoffs. I love that everything that they're doing right now. But now you got to finish the job. This season, you got to finish the job. Time to start building this team into one that can compete. Start competing for the playoffs, then compete for the division. Then you can actually say you're competing for the cup. Do not try to speed run it, because we saw what happened in Madison Square Garden with that, where, hey, congratulations, you had these 2 good runs, and now you guys are done for the foreseeable future. Let's actually keep on talking about a team in the playoff race, and the Boston Bruins. They are 7-1-2 in their last 10, a 6-point lead in wild card 1. They have really been the team that separated themselves from the pack. I think that you could just start printing playoff tickets in Boston right now. But you look at what they've done also this season, Phil. They're 3-1 against Sabres, and they're 1-1 against Carolina. They still got a game against them. Phil, in honor of the NCAA tournament, Boston is the NHL's Cinderella.
I guess you're calling them an underdog?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I gotta go round. I mean, the only other option would really be, I mean, the other Eastern wild card then? I mean, it would be whoever ends up getting that last spot.
Or the West.
I mean,
you could always do the West.
Ottawa, Detroit, or the Islanders, whoever that team ends up being there. I mean, because and I look at Nashville would probably be the other option too.
Utah could be an option.
You know what? I'm gonna go with beer. I think they're one of them. I don't want to say for sure. I mean, yeah, this is kind of accurate here for Mario. I mean, I don't know about the Blackhawk part, Mario. I mean, if that's your prediction, that's your prediction. But no, we can't call Buffalo a Cinderella team when they're competing for the Eastern Conference title right now.
Yeah, right now Buffalo's the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Listen, I don't know if they're technically the favorite. I don't, because they're a young, unproven playoff team. Where's the playoff experience on that roster right now? Alex Tuck? Who else? Who else has the playoff experience on there? So you can't really sit there and say that Buffalo is the favorite, because
a favorite was actually what I said.
I wouldn't even say a favorite at this point, just because you know what, we've seen two 62 win teams in our lifetime in the last 30 years that have come up, and they've been the juggernauts. Everybody thought they were going to win the Stanley Cup, and then they lose, and then they win the next year. So, I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say Buffalo is not – it's not up there. I could see Buffalo beating a team like Carolina. Like, if they face Carolina, I think they would beat Carolina. But I have a problem saying that Buffalo is the or a favorite, just because of the fact that they are so horribly inexperienced in the playoffs. Like Bowen Byram is one of their more experienced players. Again, Sam Carrick. I mean, they don't have a lot of playoff experience on that roster. They don't. So to get back to Boston, Beer, because they're one of them, but I can't say the.
Yeah. Actually, I do think you have a number of options you could look at and go, well, I think this is going to be a good team here or a good team here that can actually move on. I'm going to go Beer, because if the playoffs ended today and the way it's starting to line up, if you look at the wild card teams that can make probably the deepest run, you could argue Utah. And Utah, that's got the plus goal differential. You got Vejmelka, who's, I think he's second in the league in wins right now. You got a team that maybe they get in and suddenly the competitive juices start flowing against kind of iffy competition. Anaheim ain't exactly ready for prime time. I do not think that. And we've seen it where the Quenneville coach teams, like his 1 year with the Panthers in the playoffs against Tampa, where they had that excellent series and knockdown, drag out series versus Tampa, but yet they still fell in 6 games. I could see it where Utah goes in there, wins that series. Then they get the lame duck. I'm sorry. I'm going to look at whoever wins that 2-3 matchup in there, unless a coach could get his team firing on all cylinders. More on that in a second. I think there's going to be a lame duck in there too, but it's just that Utah's just not that juggernaut. You don't know what you're getting from them. There's days where they go into Colorado, beat them in overtime, and then they show up at Chicago and lose, and you're like, what happened? Aren't you guys ready to do this? I mean, in a way, it is sort of like I laughed about the strength of schedule for the Islanders, but that's why it doesn't matter with the Islanders. I fully expect the Islanders to beat some of the hard teams and lose I expect the Islanders to lose to Philly, beat Carolina, lose to Toronto, and then win the rest, if you will, because that's just the way that they've been going. So I do think it could be a Cinderella this season, especially this season, because you got 2 division winners you have no idea about. You have one juggernaut and one that we call the paper tiger last week. So we're going to see. I think there's going to be a first-round matchup, and in a way, Utah could be like, it's happened a couple different times, but one of the examples I could think of was the 2018 Rangers that went up against 2017 Rangers went up against the Montreal Canadiens, Lundqvist versus Price, and they end up taking them out in 6. And they probably should have won the series versus Ottawa after that and went up against Penguins. Sometimes the best route isn't in your division. So that's why you're like, yeah, go ahead, Dallas and Minnesota. You guys fight for those 2. But Brian's saying right here, and by the way, I think it was Josh who said it about Buffalo beat a Cinderella. If you take it for the entire season, maybe you want to use Buffalo in that context, but Buffalo is one of the top teams in the East. But and yes, they're going to get that.
They're either going to lose, they're going to get to the conference final or lose in the first round in like 5 or 6 games. I mean, yeah, that's the problem with Buffalo. Yeah, I think there's too much inexperience there where that first round loss is very possible.
Well, here's one thing to look at as well. There is one question we're going to ask about Buffalo later on in the Pick'em segment, but this is one thing I'll say for you guys. This is where the experience of the coach matters. And Lindy Ruff, he's got a little bit of experience coaching. He's taken Buffalo to the conference finals. He's taken Dallas to the conference finals. He did it multiple times with Buffalo and multiple different teams. It wasn't just Dominic Hasek. He's done it twice more with the Sabres with Ryan Miller. And one of those times they were a President's Trophy winner. So there's a coach that at least has been around the block with that. You got 2 stars that are absolutely hungry for the playoffs the first time. Tage Thompson, I can't wait to see what he's going to do in the playoffs. And never mind him, Rasmus Dahlin as well, obviously. And then you got Alex Tuck, who plays well in the playoffs, except for one shot that Braden Holtby was able to stop. But there's going to be.
That's just a great save.
That's a great save. I don't. Yeah. The poor guy. He could have tied the game for Vegas and brought them a Stanley Cup in their first season, and maybe they won in overtime and they tied the series 2-2 instead. Washington in 5. So there's going to be so much more to talk about with that, because let's go over to the West, guys, and let's look at the Western wildcard standings. You look at Utah, they're pretty much solidified. If I say Boston's in, Utah's definitely going to be in. But Nashville holding that 1-point lead over LA, Winnipeg, and a 2-point lead over San Jose and Seattle. And Filk, every time Seattle is dead and buried, they just keep opening the door again. And Bobby McCann is playing like out of his mind right now. But let's focus on that team. Let's focus on one of those teams with 76 points, and that is the Winnipeg Jets. Filk, the defending President's Trophy winners. The Winnipeg Jets will be the team to take wildcard 2 in the West.
Oh, man. Do you really want to go against a team that has Connor Hellebuck in net? Do you really want to do that? I mean, that's the question. There's still a significant amount of firepower there, even without someone like Nikolai Ehlers in the lineup, who they absolutely miss. By the way, they still absolutely miss him. But I mean, they've had injuries to Josh Morrissey. They've had injuries to others. Morrissey hasn't been the same Norris caliber defenseman this year. Gabe Velarde looks great. Kyle Connor has kind of had a little bit of a down year, but Mark Scheifele, man, career year from him, first 90-point season. But Cole Perfetti, what happened, man? I mean, I know he's been hurt, but he looked like he was on the up and up, and he's kind of taken a step back. Gustav Nyquist has not been a great pickup for them. They brought him in to replace, or try to replace, I should say, Nikolai Ehlers, but I'm going to go shot. I just don't think they have enough offensively. I love what's at the top of their lineup with that top 3. But after that, there is such a scoring drop-off after Morrissey. It was a 21-point drop-off from Morrissey to Perfetti. And that's why I think they're going to miss, because I just don't think they have enough depth to really get the job done. So I'm going to say shot. There it is. Yeah, I wonder if you want to have some tacos in LA.
You need the only way to get tacos is in LA. Oh, Connor Hellebuck is trying to will this team in. And I give him all the credit in the world. Right now, 10-4-4 since the Olympic break ended. And they sort of got their legs back. The 74 games, LA still has a game in hand on everybody, and they have the weakest remaining schedule in the NHL. And whereas Winnipeg is still ranked 20th. However, you got to look at this and think Hellebuck has got to be the difference. You got to look at your 3 stars: Hellebuck, Connor, and Scheifele. And Scheifele, do not get me wrong, that guy, he might play with his chip on his shoulder better than anyone in the NHL. And that's saying something because Sidney Crosby is still in the league, and so is Connor McDavid. But man, he didn't make Team Canada, and he's been electric since they kind of didn't name the team. But Anthony, what do you? So wait, sorry. Let me say with this, I'm gonna have to go beer on this as well. It might be shot. I'm gonna give him a chance because nobody in the West seems to want it. I do give the edge to LA right now, and obviously Nashville because they're already in position. Anthony, what do you think? By the way, everybody, joined by Mr. Anthony LaRocco, coming from us right now. But what do you think?
Welcome aboard, buddy.
Oh, sorry.
They're 2. What are they? They're 2 points back in Nashville.
2 points.
I'm gonna go round. I like
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
1 point. Sorry.
I like Winnipeg better than all these teams. I like them better than LA. I like them better than Nashville. They got one of the best goaltenders in the world. I like what they have in Scheifele and Perfetti. I don't know. I just think this team, out of all the non-playoff teams right now, I think they're the best. And it's 1 point, 1 measly point. Like, you tell me they can't overtake Nashville? I don't. Anything can happen. Nashville can hold them off, of course. But for me, I'm just gonna go round. I mean, they're on a charge here. I mean, they were not that long ago. They were like 10+ points out of a playoff spot. So, yeah, I think they got all the momentum. I think it's gonna be them that get in.
And among that, I think they were the second worst team in the NHL. I mean, they tried at one point to get past Vancouver, but Vancouver they can't do anything. But let's stick out west, and a team that's kind of floundered, and we were shocked as hell when we saw this news on Sunday, guys. But the Vegas Golden Knights fire Bruce Cassidy and replace him with John Tortorella, of all people. Guys, I'm watching Severance right now, and the opening scene of the entire series is Adam Scott crying in his car before he has to go into the facility. And that was sort of the description that was given about Bruce Cassidy, saying it was 4 years of hell.
Yeah, I saw that.
4 years of hell, and they won a Stanley Cup. Like, that's mind-boggling that somebody could be that much despised. But you got to look now, John Tortorella, who already won his first game. Granted, it was against the Vancouver Canucks. The three of us could beat the Vancouver Canucks right now. But Anthony, Torts will get the Golden Knights into the second round.
I mean, you're talking right now. They would what? They would play Anaheim's first in the division, so they would play the Oilers, I think, as it's constantly set up. I mean, new coach bump. Yeah, Torts knows how to win. He's a good coach. Despite his personality, he is well respected, demands respect in that room. So I think they can get that bump from him. That said, they're playing the Oilers. I mean, the Oilers, their bugaboo has always been their defense and goaltending, but that hasn't stopped them from going to the Cup Finals 2 years in a row. So they'll likely get Draisaitl back, I believe. You know what? I'm going to go shot, actually, because, you're speaking about goaltending, but Vegas's goaltending has not been good all year themselves. I do like their defense better than Edmonton's overall. And I guess I don't want to talk in absolutes because the matchup could change. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. But as of right now, that's who they would play. So that's what I'm basing it off of. But I just think the Oilers would beat them in round one. So if it stays that way, I'm going to go shot.
Filk?
It's tough for me. I'm torn between beer and round, just because and yes, of course, I love NoFX. I actually got to see NoFX live, thankfully, Pumpkin Drublic 2021, which was an awesome show, by the way. But yeah, I'm gonna go between beer and shot here. I'm gonna beer and round. I'm gonna go round. Screw it. I'm just going to go around. You know what? I don't like the fact that they're going into this playoffs without Alex Pietrangelo, who seemingly I think is retired. They bring in Rasmus Anderson to shore up their defense, and Calgary has actually, I believe, won more games since the Rasmus Anderson trade. I saw the stat the other day. I'm not sure if that's still the case. It was 9-8. The counter showed, but you know what? I think Tortorella is going to come in, and I made the joke on my own Twitter. I posted, the Adam Silver picture, "Get ready to learn," and I changed the meme that said, "Get ready to learn 6 goalie system, Jack Eichel." But I'm kind of half joking with that, just because I do think Tortorella is going to really kind of shore up their defense. For a team that has some great two-way forwards like, Mark Stone and Jack Eichel and all these other guys, I think Tortorella, they're serious. This is management stepping in and saying, like, you guys have too much talent to be floundering around the way that you are, and the efforts are not good enough. So for Bruce Cassidy to say that it's been 4 years, hell, even when they won a Stanley Cup within those 4 years, I think that goes to show you the amount of pressure that this team is under. And I think Tortorella is now under that pressure too. Like, you were brought in, and there's no decision on him. He doesn't have a contract that, through the, outside the end of this year. Mm-hmm. William Karlsson being out hasn't helped them either, as Nico is saying here. And I get that. But there is still too much talent on this roster. So this is management coming down and saying, hey, you know what? This was like in 1994 or 93 when, the onus was on the Rangers. And, you had all this stuff with Roger Nielsen, and they got Roger Nielsen fired. And you know what? Now you got Keenan. This is what you wanted. This is what you get. And Keenan, it's funny because Tortorella is the modern day Keenan. You want to mess around and you want to get your coach on the hook and you want to get him fired. Okay, here's the guy that you're going to have to come in and deal with now. So I you know what? No, you know what? And I'm gonna point to one example that's going to prove you wrong in about 2 seconds. You remember the guy that threw the bench on the ice in New Jersey, Robbie Ftorek? Yeah, look at what happened. They came in, they brought in Larry Robinson, then Larry Robinson took them to a Stanley Cup and then took them to the finals the year after, and they lost to a Colorado team that was so damn good that they won without Peter Forsberg after the first round. Just remember that. So, you know what? Robbie, if they can go and do that, I absolutely believe that Vegas can come out of this. And they've got a good goaltender. They've got a guy that's proven that he can win a cup at least. I mean, again, I always say you don't have to be an elite goaltender to win. You have to have a great team in front of a capable goaltender that is capable of going on a run and getting hot at the right time and playing above average hockey. A goalie that's capable of keeping you in a game and getting it to a point where your team can win the game for him. And that's what Vegas has right now. Vegas has that team. The question is, why wasn't the coaching getting the job done? Were the players slacking off? Were the players having a little too much fun on offense? What was the reason for this change? Like, I would love to get a little more behind the scenes information from some of their beats, because it's just, to have this happen right now tells you that something was really, really wrong in that locker room. So Tortorella is going to come in and whip these guys' asses into shape. You best believe that they're going to put on their Sunday bests, and they're going to come out and, just really kick some ass.
I'm going to disagree with you slightly about Torts being the modern day Keenan, because I think that belongs to Mike Babcock. And now Mike Babcock is just as radioactive as Mike Keenan. And I was pro Babcock for a while, and now I've opened up my eyes. Torts, on the other hand, but you've seen how much Torts does care about his players. And I think that's an underrated thing about Torts. Everybody keeps making it up like Mitch Marner is in trouble right now. Like, that's been the joke of the internet for the last week. Like, Mitch Marner can play defense and score. Gee, I think John Tortorella likes those players. But going into this, I'm gonna use this term. It's house money. And you look at that Edmonton team, other than Connor McDavid, I mean, yeah, they're gonna get Draisaitl back at some time in the playoffs, they said. I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say they're playing with house money. And I'm gonna say that they win this series. If it is constituted just like this, they win this series, because Tristan Jarry has yet to win a playoff series ever. And as Anthony can tell you, and as what we know as well, he made the best pass of that Islanders Penguin series.
You love
right
that
onto the tape for Josh Bailey. And I will always say that's the best pass Josh Bailey has ever gotten in his life. Great read by Josh Bailey, by the way. But I'm not taking everything away from him. But you look at the rest of the series, at least there's guys that have won on both teams, but there's still trouble in that net. If Tortorella can somehow just stabilize things, and here's the thing, you guys were saying it just now, there was a ton of pressure on the Vegas team with Cassidy there. Now that Cassidy's gone, maybe there's less pressure. And less pressure, everybody gets looser, start having more fun. Pucks go in the net, then you can't wait to get to the rink. Same thing with playing golf. You get a drive right down the middle, you end up parring that hole. Bam, I can't wait for the next hole. So there's too many other metaphors I could use for all this. But maybe that's where Vegas is right now. And maybe that's where Tortorella is, because it's one thing is certain. Cassidy's a good coach. But, man, his shelf life is so short. Like, I'm surprised he lasted at Boston as long as he did. And hearing what they said, 4 years of hell, like, yikes. They were good. They won the cup. The next year, they were still a real solid team. And even last year, you thought they were going to get a little bit further than what they did. But not the case. And now Cassidy's gone. Torts, if you remember the last time he did an interim job this late in the season, not many people have done it this late, but late in the season when he took over for Tom Rennie with the Rangers, he got the Capital to Game 7 of the first round. And if it wasn't for...
You mean the Rangers?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, what I meant versus the Capitals. He got the Rangers.
No, I know. I know. I mean, the way you said it was made like you talked.
I do have to work on my communication skills. That's exactly what you should. But they were in Game 7 till very late in. I think 5 minutes remaining was when Fedorov scored in 2009 to win that series. But
yes,
they had a 3-1 lead and a chokehold of that series, and then Sean Avery got suspended. Tortorella got suspended. Because Tortorella's an emotional guy. That was the water bottle incident, if you guys remember that one. And then they got waxed in Game 6, and they came back. They actually had the lead in Game 7, but didn't hold on. All right. And then I think the Capitals got upset anyway by the Penguins in the next round, which that had an epic game in there as well. All right. Guys, let's move on. Let's do some pick'ems.
I've got a gut feeling.
You want me to do two things?
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Now shoot!
And of course, Big Apple Hockey's pick'ems. We're going to give you a couple choices. You pick it. And guys, I have to say, this is one of the most preposterous things I saw on Twitter and online starting from Monday night. But we saw the Radko Gudas fight against Max Domi, and he didn't throw a single punch. And he even got cheap shotted later on in the game. But your opinion of Radko Gudas after Monday night for taking his medicine, if you will. Does he get more, less, or the same amount of respect? Anthony, let's start with you.
I actually like what he did. He said that, he was kind of hurt. There was speculation if he was going to play or not, but he's like, I want to own up to my mistakes. I think he said some sort of variation of that quote. And, I don't like him as a player. I think he does, he does throw obviously the cheap shot here and there, but the fact that he owned up to it and said that, to me, I do think that's respectable. So that's just my thought on it.
Phil?
To go back and forth with this really, because when I looked at it at first, I was just like, he just sat there and took a bunch of punches. And I'm like, he really turtle in that fight. But now that I sit and actually let the whole steam blow off and try to think about it in, a more calm and, overall more objective demeanor. I've got to say that I think I respect him a tiny little bit more, because it looked like he knew that he did something fucked up, and sorry, pardon my French there, but he knew he really kind of screwed up with that, and he just he kind of took his beating. He took what he had coming to him. You know what? And I got to respect going out there and saying, hey, you know what? I made a mistake, and you know what? I got to pay for it. And good, but it only means so much if you continue to do it. Now here's where I want to here's the thing. Now I want to see him stop these types of hits. And this is a guy that can be an effective player. This is not a scrub by any means. He's not a complete goon like somebody from the early 2000s who was just a face puncher, who was going out there to hurt people. This is a guy that can actually play defense. And he can be a contributor to a team. So let's see if this changes and he stops, with these cheap shots, because if he continues to do it, then these are just empty words. So a little more, but I'm still very wary, and I'm still gonna tread lightly when it comes to him, because I don't know if I fully believe that he's turned a leaf.
Good choice of words you had right there, Phil. That he's turned a leaf, where he was being turned.
Actually, you know what? I didn't even mean to do that. I'm not even kidding. I didn't even mean to do that. But yeah,
he turned a leaf 2 weeks ago. I can tell you that. But Phil and Anthony, obviously. But this is one of those things I go back and forth on this one as well. As much as I want to try to, as much as I want to commend the guy and say, hey, good job. You went out and you took your medicine. He did take a cheap shot too. One of the guys thrown out of the game. But on the other hand, and he fought Max Domi. Max Domi, like his dad, he throws punches you're gonna remember. And he didn't fight back against him, but he kind of negated it. And you know what? He's in video game messaging, he's a bit of a bullet sponge. So he's able to take some punches. But again, Phil, you're 100% right on this one. And it's I have a little bit more respect for him because he did more than George Peros did. But this is just public relations, I think, too. This is him coming out and going, you know what? I'll come out, I'll take a couple hits, and everybody's going to think better of me. So the next time I take a knee, they only give me 6 games and not 15 like they should.
Yeah.
So, I mean, after all, one of the kneecaps he took was Sidney Crosby's, but because it happened at the Olympics, they couldn't suspend him. So this is one of those things. I got a Megatron clip of him saying, the power of public relations. But there's so many other levels to this too. I do think this is Gudas being a little bit more wily and going, he's respecting the code, but how much of the code is he going to respect the next time he cheap shot somebody, which is probably going to be sooner than later. You have the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hey, good job. It took you guys 2 weeks to stand up for your captain who was laying on the ice and you did nothing. Then you also have George Peros, who he shouldn't have been playing in this game because that suspension should have been far longer. But whatever. I know. I was called out on that too. Somebody said this week, I'm blaming Peros. It's the wrong guy. Then tell me who to blame when you're literally the one in charge of discipline. Phil, let's jump right back to you on this one. The Buffalo Sabres, game 1 of the playoffs today. Who is their playoff starter, UPL or Alex Lyon?
UPL, especially after last night's performance. I'm going to go UPL. I don't think the Islanders played a bad game at all. I just think they were just that short. Buffalo was just the better team. Buffalo showed last night why they are in the position they are in, why they've been on this seemingly incredibly long heater that they've been on. They've been really good, and UPL, when called upon last night, he was really good. So I'm going to go UPL because, listen, having Alex Lyon, a guy who got Florida to the playoffs in 2023, is not a bad option to have as a backup right now. I think Alex Lyon has come a long way since coming up with Philly and really trying to make a name for himself in the NHL. He's turned into a respectable backup, but I think that's what he is. I think he's the backup right now, and I think UPL is going to be the guy going forward.
Anthony, who's your game 1 starter for the Sabres?
I think it's UPL too. I don't know. Both him and Lyon have the same percentage, 9-10, which is pretty good in this day and age where save percentages are going down in terms of the averages. So they're both performing well, but I think just because UPL has more upside. I mean, Alex Lyon at this point is kind of like just a guy that was considered kind of almost like a journeyman and whatnot. But so I think UPL is the guy that Buffalo wants to succeed and see grow. So I think they're going to give him the first crack at it. But I think if he did, let's say he struggled in games 1 and 2 and Buffalo was down 2-0 all of a sudden, I think they would quickly go to Lyon because Lyon, like Phil said, has proven he can be relied upon. He's the reason why the Florida Panthers made the playoffs in that first cup year. So, I think
the year before.
I think Lyon will get a shot if UPL slips, but I think UPL will be the starter of game
1. If this is Bar Talk, I would do this, so I'm going to do it right now. It's a hat trick, and I'm going to say UPL as well because he's the guy that they kind of anointed a while ago to be the starter. Now, you look at these guys' numbers, they're nearly identical. Both of them have a 9-10 save percentage. That is identical. Identical. And they both have pretty good goals against averages, where you have UPL with a 2.58 and Alex Lyon with a 2.69. However, UPL is the guy they looked at and said he's got the talent, made a big save last night on the penalty shot against the Islanders. But it's I think you got to go UPL. I caution this. Make sure both goalies know this, that it's going to be UPL, because we've seen it too many times, guys, where if a goalie isn't sure about his position and he lets in a few goals and he's looking at the bench, that's not a goalie that's going to win you a series. Anthony, we didn't see the Buffalo Sabres coming. or the Montreal Canadiens. It's amazing about those. So I got to ask this question. Who is the more clueless owner you could think of? Jim Dolan or Keith Pelly?
I mean, I know that was a short-sighted, just seemed like just an excuse type of comment from Keith Pelly. With that said, Pelly often in the various moves the Maple Leafs had made over the years, whether it was getting rid of Dubas, Shanahan leaving. He was always involved in their big pressers, in their press conferences. I think he clearly also has a hand in hockey operations on some level. Whereas Jim Dolan, it seems like he doesn't care about the Rangers. That's the Knicks that he's focused on. And, Jim Dolan never really speaks about the Rangers, at least publicly, in that kind of format that Pelly does. I think so. I gotta go Dolan. At least it seems like Pelly is more hands-on and serious about his team winning, whereas Dolan, I think, he wants his team to win, but it doesn't seem like he's very involved with hockey.
Phil, which one do you think is more clueless?
I'm going with Dolan. I'm sorry, it's still Dolan for me. I know the optics are not good on Keith Pelly after that comment. Like I think he's just scrambling for something there, like Anthony said. But I'm not buying it one bit on that. I think that there's more than was going on than to what was said with Keith Pelly. They said they were talking about that decision for weeks. I mean, if you were going to make that move should have been made probably before the season started. Again, I understand they lose Mitch Marner, but the moves that they made to correspond to it were just not good enough. And that's when the can should. I mean, listen, if you were going to fire him before the whole Marner, should have been fired before the Marner thing happened. Do you have this crucial decision coming, and you knew that the guy was going to leave because you basically scapegoated him, the fans scapegoated him, and did nothing to support the guy. So, I mean, they should have had somebody else coming in at that point. It should have been it. So, but yeah, it's Dolan. It's Dolan because we know Dolan really doesn't know a whole lot about hockey. We know that his knowledge of hockey is very limited. We know that he knows more about basketball than he knows about hockey. Every time he steps in with this team, something bad ends up happening. So I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not a fan of him as an owner of the Rangers. The thing is you need to have a general manager that can come in, that knows what he's doing, that will have basically the aura and the credibility to be like, you need to back off, kind of like Glenn Sather, what he did, 22 years ago with him, and say, hey, you need to back off and you need to let me do this thing. Like, if you can't trust me, then I can't do my job. So you have to have somebody that has stones to step to him. That's obviously not Chris Drury at this point, but Jim Dolan is far more of a detriment to any team that he owns outside of the Knicks because of the fact that Leon Rose is a miracle worker.
This is almost a toss-up. It's almost a toss-up. That's how clueless both these guys are. And look, Jim Dolan, first off, say the word rebuild. And a matter of fact, I know you're looking at this team the last few weeks going, maybe they're not that far off. No, they're far off. They're very far off. And you got pieces in place that they could ascend quickly, but they're not a Stanley Cup contender by any means and anywhere near close. So the first person you should blame is the general manager that built the team and then tore it down. And it's funny. Let me give him credit because I did look at the video that I made about the downfall of the Rangers, the rise and downfall, basically how the letter lied. When he put out the statement saying George Parros is a dangerous executive and he should be removed and fired. Yeah, he was right about that one. but also he tends to listen too much to Glenn Sather, and he tends to shoot from the hip way too much. I don't know what this team would have been like under Gorton and Davidson if they stayed, but maybe they wouldn't be this. Maybe they wouldn't be competing for the worst draft pick and the worst record. But Pelly, you mispronounce a prospect's name. You come up and say we didn't expect Montreal, and we didn't see Montreal and Buffalo coming. Buffalo, mind you, sure, everybody saw Montreal coming. Don't get me started on that one, and just own it. But the Maple Leafs are going to recycle the same team, try to win again. The one thing I'll give the Maple Leafs credit for over the last 10 years, I don't know if it was him, but at least the Maple Leafs did tear it down to rebuild. They might have to do that again soon. The Rangers won't do that. The Rangers won't ever do that. They'll do patchwork. And again, if the Rangers could ever get a front office that could draft, develop, and then you still have free agent signings, they could be one of the most dominant franchises in the NHL. Instead, nah, we'll just keep on taking castaways from other teams and then signing free agent contracts that end up biting us in the ass. Or you pick up players, you reacquire players for absolutely no reason. Reunions don't work. I said it before. I'll say it again. Anthony, let's go right back to you on this one. Let's give you another fun one, or at least a fun one. More impressive 19-year-old season, Sidney Crosby in his second year or Macklin Celebrini?
By the way, did you ever you talked a lot there, but did you ever pick one? I don't think you picked one. You just talked about them both. Did you say Dolan or Pelly?
I did say Dolan.
You did?
I did say Dolan, I think, at one point. Yeah.
This one's tough. This one's close because there's parallels there. You know, the Penguins' first year at Crosby. Obviously they were bad, but he was in as advertised. Same thing with pretty much Celebrini. And now this year, you know, Crosby's second year, the Penguins made the playoffs. Celebrini's second year, they're 2 points out, so it's possible. I don't know. This one's tough. You know, Crosby, you know, I know Celebrini was first overall himself, but Crosby was at least billed as the second coming and, you know, this generational player. So you kind of expected it. I don't know if anybody saw Celebrini scoring 100 points this year. I know we saw how talented he was. But being on a Sharks team that wasn't that good, would it come in his second year? And, you know, here he is, and he's reached it. His team might make the playoffs. You know, he's so responsible defensively, too, at his age, which is rare. So it's hard to really pick against Crosby in anything, but I think – I know Crosby had 120 points that year, and I don't think Celebrini's going to get there, but I think I got to go Celebrini here. I think I have to go Celebrini here.
Oh, sorry, Anthony.
Well, I can tell you right now what Crosby did in his second season and basically being the best player in the league is nothing short of unbelievable, just because of the fact that, you know, he had that great 100-point rookie year and everybody was like, wow, like, you know, he could have won the Calder, but Ovechkin basically was a one-man wrecking crew in Washington that year.
And that's still the greatest Calder class ever.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just unbelievable to get two 100-point players like that at that point in Dion Phaneuf. But I'm going to go with Macklin Celebrini. The reason for that being is that when you look at the two rosters between these two teams, and I know that Crosby led in scoring, and I know that he won the Hart, but look at the rosters between these two teams from 06-07. It's night and day. It's night and day. So Crosby had an 85-point Calder winning Evgeny Malkin. He had a 68-point. Sure, he was in the twilight of his career, but Mark Recchi still contributing. Sergei Gonchar had 67 points. Ryan Whitney had his career year and had 59 points. Jordan Stahl had 29 goals as a rookie and was one of the leaders in shorthanded goals, actually led the NHL in shooting percentage that year, and finished in the top 15 in Selke voting. They had guys they had a good team that 06, 07, and they got bounced by Ottawa in the first round, and that was really kind of like their, hey, this is your introduction to losing. And then they obviously they go on to the Stanley Cup Finals the next 2 years and finally win in 09. But in San Jose, Celebrini's year this year is like Ovechkin's Calder year. He's got 101 points. Do you know who the next highest scoring forward on that team is, or the next highest scoring player?
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Do you know how many points he's behind Celebrini?
Like 50?
Yeah, I think it's 50.
50 exactly. And yes, Will Smith has missed games. Yes, he has. I'm not taking that away. But the fact that Celebrini has literally almost single-handedly took this team to within 2 points of a playoff spot right now, when they are way ahead of schedule, is unbelievable. So you got to remember, William Eklund has also missed time, and he's having a down year after last year. Colin Graf has been, who I wanted the Rangers to sign so damn badly, is turned into a nice NHL player. Dmitry Orlov has had an okay season for them. John Klingberg was kind of disappointing for them. But, Alex Wenberg looks like he's going to score over 50 points. His first 50-point year since his days in Columbus. Tyler Toffoli has had a down year. I mean, they don't have enough. Michael Misa, who everybody was super high on, really didn't live up to the expectations of a second overall pick this year. So, yeah, this is Celebrini for me. I mean, Crosby did more just because, he had a little more talent around him. But I think if you surrounded Celebrini with that type of talent, I think he would probably have been, or that level of talent, I should say, I think he would be challenging McDavid for the scoring title right now. I think he'd have at least 10 to 15 more points. That's just me. But...
And I almost think that there's no wrong answer here. Both of them are so impressive. But I got to go with you, Phil. I got to go with Michael Celebrini here. The Penguins were sort of like in step 2 of their rebuild, if you will, or maybe even like they were at the end of step 1. Like, I mean, being 50 points clear of your next closest teammate, and really just showing that you can ascend to be this. I mean, he's a number 1 franchise player. That's who.
He's probably the most valuable asset in the entire NHL right now, in my opinion.
I'll say he's the best number 1 overall pick since McDavid.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would fight that. I mean, Bedard, I think, will have something to say if he would have stayed healthy. I think Bedard would be right there in the scoring race.
Matthews as well. You could have something to say about that there.
It's sort of valuable. About a week ago, there were guys on TSN. They were talking a segment of how many players would you trade for Matthew Schaefer, and Celebrini was one of the 5 one of the only few that made the list. It was McDavid, McKinnon, Makar.
I wouldn't trade Celebrini for Matthew Schaefer.
I wouldn't either. Center dominates the game.
You're asking me who I would trade Matthew Schaefer for?
That's what they were saying. Sorry, that's what they were saying.
The other way around.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Yes,
Celebrini. Yeah, Celebrini. I mean, I wouldn't do it from San Jose's end, but from the Islanders' end, yeah. I mean, that's one of the few guys that you do it for.
And don't worry, Islander fans. We're not saying trading Matthew Schaefer is an option.
Listen, I'm sorry. What Schaefer is doing is great. We all know I love Schaefer, but it's there's no question to this. You have a 100-point franchise 2-way forward who looks like he's the next coming of Steve friggin' Yzerman. I'm taking the franchise center any day of the week. I'm sorry.
Well, actually, you know what? Since we're playing armchair GMs, guys, this is the last one a little bit of tongue in cheek in this comment, but which position to you is less attractive? Anthony, being the Leafs GM or the Flyers goalie?
I mean, I see what you're doing here, but no matter how we feel about the Leafs, Mark, they're the richest NHL team. They're basically the mecca of hockey. Any person who's qualified and looking for a position as a general manager in the NHL is going to be interested in the Maple Leafs the general manager position. So again, I guess tongue in cheek, but trying to say that no one wants the Leafs job is absolutely ridiculous. I think a lot of people would want it for the reasons I just stated. So, I mean, Flyers goalie.
They call it the goalie graveyard for a reason.
Yeah.
Phil, which one would you not want?
I don't know if I'd want to be the Leafs GM right now. You have the responsibility of one, rebuilding the mess that was left by Treliving, and you may have to trade your franchise, one of the top 3 best players in franchise history. You might have to make that trade and then start to rebuild. Not only that, but think about this. You are under constant scrutiny from that media. Mm-hmm. Like everybody talks about the New York media being like the absolute worst. There is nothing worse than Canadian media in hockey and being in one of those management positions. So like you're going to have to deal with everything. Not only that, but you can't go out in public in Toronto without being noticed. You go out anywhere in Ontario and they will know you. They will know your face. You cannot hide. Mm-hmm. There is nowhere that you are going to be able. Remember that interview with Kyle Davidson, where they interviewed Kyle Davidson and they didn't know they were interviewing Kyle Davidson.
Yeah,
you're not getting away with that in Toronto.
No, definitely. Yeah, and that's part of the reason why Mitch Marner left. I mean, he couldn't. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
just remember,
Mitch Marner got carjacked.
No matter if you did the right thing or the wrong thing. Like, if that team doesn't pull its own weight and get itself together and grow a spine, you are automatically wrong in what you did.
Yeah.
You will never win unless you win a cup there. Because no matter what you do, you have to deal with the weight of a near 60-year drought now.
Yeah.
Just remember that.
And you know what? It takes somebody with they got to be able to take a risk. They got to be able to compromise whenever they do. I give Neil Smith all the credit in the world of ending the Rangers cup drought. More so than Mike Keenan, and he's the one that brought in both Messier and Keenan. But yeah, Phil, I got to agree with you. I'd rather be, because the Flyers goalie, we could make fun of him for about a year. By the way, all the Flyers goalies are playing well right now. We're just talking about overall, like they're passed around more than a joint. But you can look at what the Leafs GM has to deal with. Like you said, you can't even go out for a cup of coffee, and everybody's going to be asking you questions. In New York, at least, let's say if you're Chris Drury, you go out, you got people that might recognize you, but they're also going to move on and go to the Yankees. They'll go to the Mets. They'll go to the Giants. They'll go to the Jets. There's other things distract them. This is a high-pressure job. And the Toronto Blue Jays were this close to a World Series championship last year. The Raptors won in recent memory. Like, this is still probably the highest-pressure job in the league. Man, if you go there, you better go there with a plan, and you better go there, and you'll have management backing you. That's the good thing. And they'll actually, if you go there and say you're going to rebuild, like they did 10 years ago, they might do it again. I don't envy what Brad Treliving had to do because he had to make a decision on Mitch Marner like that when he was there. But that was also part of the job. So you had to figure that one out. And then they at least got something for him. But then they really didn't do much at the trade deadline. A lot of people mock their moves. But this is something that you could go there. I don't envy you that you're going to end up moving Austin Matthews and probably William Nylander. But who knows? Maybe something better is on the horizon. But they also got Anthony Stolarz locked up for another 3 years. Whatever Joseph Wall is going to be, I have no idea. So I don't envy what they have to do there. Phil, how are we doing on time for you?
I still got time. I got a lot of time, actually. We went through this pretty quickly, so yeah, I got time.
Yeah, actually, we're about 2 hours. We didn't even do any discussion, but let's just do a quick one before we start the games, as Anthony looks very relaxed down there. Guys, this week the Frozen Four is about to kick off, and it's going to be taking place at T-Mobile Arena. You're starting to really see the growth of this, even though ESPN still really isn't putting it in the most optimal times. But Anthony, just share some of your thoughts about how this has grown more than what it used to be. I think there was a guy that described this on NHL Network, NHL Radio, as this is the most important game of these kids' lives, and they're playing in empty buildings in Albany.
Yeah, I love college hockey. You know, I think it's definitely grown and got more popular over the years. But I remember I really got into it when one of my friends played D1 at Quinnipiac, and I went to one of his games to watch. Yeah, I went to a couple. One game was against Clarkson, and another game was against Cornell. And I remember in Cornell, Jesse Winchester was went on to play in the NHL, and I just remember Greg talking about what it was like to play against big guys like that who ultimately went on to play in the NHL. But yeah, no, I love college hockey. I've very much been following it. You know, I was watching BU's games when BU was still in it, and you know, Notre Dame, and you know, so yeah, I like it. I think you know, you got Michigan, Wisconsin, North Dakota, right? They're in it. What's the other team?
North Dakota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Denver.
Denver, yeah. So I think those are four really great programs. Denver, didn't they recently win a national championship, Denver?
Yeah, I believe so.
Recently, I think they
did. It was like 8 years ago.
Yeah, they won with I think they won with Z Bullion.
Yeah, that was
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I think it's good hockey. You know, a lot of these kids, Mark, you said, you know, because majority of them will not play in the NHL. So a lot of these guys, their dream is to win a national championship. So it's certainly the time of their lives. Then you have a guy like TJ Hughes on Michigan, who's probably going to be the most sought after any college free agent whenever Michigan's done playing.
Rangers, by the way, he's been in Rangers camps. So
he has.
Yeah, he's been in Rangers camps in the past. So yeah, I would expect the Rangers to be doing a full press on him.
But yeah, I like it. I'm very interested. You know, I think for me, just for Islander fans in general, Quinn Finley's an Islander prospect, so I guess you have some rooting interest there for maybe Wisconsin to win, and then hopefully, you know, he'll sign his ELC whenever his season's done. But they got four really good programs left, and just in general, I like the competitiveness of it, and you know, when it's on, I try to catch the games.
Just for fun, do you know the Hobey Baker Trophy winner to play for both the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders?
Jason Krog.
Yeah. And finally, he found his niche in Anaheim.
There's two of them.
Oh, sorry, there's two. Yeah, I forgot. What's the other one, Anthony?
Two.
One of your favorite Puck Doku answers.
Played for all three metro area teams, by the way.
I use him in Puck Doku.
Yep.
Damn, I don't know. This one's
Mike Motto.
Mike Motto. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, that's an even better question, and phrase it as who's the only Hobey Baker Trophy winner to play for all three metro area teams.
Motto, yep.
But this is something that, look, I'm well behind on this because it's been a crazy month for me as well as it's been for everybody else here. But this is something that the NHL, I think they need to start almost selling out their rights or seeing if NCAA can get their rights off of ESPN, because their games are going to be for the Frozen Four. And I've had friends playing the Frozen Four too, as you guys know. But they're going to be on Thursday at 5:00. I understand you can't do it this weekend on Saturday because you're going up against the NCAA Final Four for basketball. But this would have been something. At least try to piggyback off of them and get more attention on you. Michigan, #1 team. North Dakota, their first time back there since I think it's about since Taves was on the team, right? It's been a while. It's been 10 years.
I'm not sure, but speaking of North Dakota, I was just mentioning my friend Greg that played at Quinnipiac. His first ever college career game was against Quinnipiac, and he said that their top line was Taves, Oshie, and Ryan Duncan, who I think might have won the Hobie Baker, but didn't have a good NHL career, but hell of a college player. And he said that was
Ryan Duncan, I think, had a 30-goal year that year.
But that was his first game against college career against North Dakota. He's like, that was a big welcoming moment. He's like, I couldn't believe who I was playing against.
Yeah. So, I remember him talking about this. I was going to ask you, Anthony, when he played against Clarkson, was Shea Guthrie on that team?
He was Islander prospect, yeah.
Yeah, he was an Islander prospect back then.
Yeah,
But Greg is on a personal level. Greg might be the most talented hockey player I know on a personal level.
Me too.
But he just unbelievable. But when I remember talking to him about that, because when I found that out, I was like, wow, I want to see what his reaction was. He was blown away. You saw the look on his face. And mind you, this is the guy that Anthony and I have played roller and ice with.
Yeah.
And we've brought him down to games. And it gets to the point where he'll just cut through teams like a hot knife through butter. And it got to a point where in a roller game, they threatened to kick him.
Yes, I remember that.
He scored one more goal. So he didn't shoot for the rest of the game. It was ridiculous. But Greg's an unbelievable player. But for him to it just goes to show you the level of the jump in talent from guys like him who you would think could make it to the guys who make it and then to the guys who are at the very top of the game. So
and now you got it where they're competing for the top talent in hockey. You have Gavin McKenna now playing at Penn State.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, Porter Martone, he's plays junior hockey and then goes to play in the NCAA. They're getting influx of talent that they normally wouldn't over the years. So
yeah, and Caleb Malhotra is going to Michigan State next year.
A lot of the top guys are already committed to schools. So for in this coming draft.
And I think one thing that's getting overlooked a little bit.
We talked about Chase Reed. Chase Reed's committed to Michigan State.
Michigan State, yeah.
Yep. So these guys, Keaton Verhoff, obviously he's already at North Dakota, but it's a guy in a program that's going to be a top pick.
Yeah. And this is one of those things that you can't help but just say the college experience doesn't need to be overlooked on this. So you're telling me you can get these kids, pay them money, like Mac was Mac with Celebrini was before I think NIL, but you got Mac with Celebrini who goes to Boston University. Wow, sorry, didn't mean to offend anybody. But he goes to Boston University, plays 1 year, and then goes #1 overall in the NHL draft right into the league. I mean, you're telling me you can give a kid money, the college experience, and they could still go top overall in the draft, and then it's the NHL. That's attractive to anybody. And you look at some organizations take, for instance, last year, like Penn State building their program. They were a little more of a Cinderella run last year. Jim Dow Jr. was on the team, friend of the channel. But then you also have his other son who's in Arizona State right now, as Mullet Arena is still, they're selling out. They're building quite the experience. They were talking about this a lot with the Johnny Lazarus podcast because Johnny does so much work. Morning Cup of Hockey. He does so much work with the NCAA and does a great job promoting the game. It's just, it's more than just coverage of the Beanpot now. And these guys are starting to really get noticed. And you can't wait to see more and more what is going to be down the line. And just keep it growing. Just get them out of 5 o'clock on a Thursday. Get them in the prime time. Because you got to get them to. You got to get people to actually be able to.
Such a fun tournament. I don't understand how it's.
Yeah.
You're telling me you could take the NCAA basketball tournament and make it into a hockey style tournament where more unbelievable things can happen. Like that's a home run to me, because the NCAA tournament, I think, is one of the best events every single year in basketball. Just ask anyone that watched that the UConn Duke game. And now you get that, you throw an overtime and goal in there instead of a 3-point shot with 5 seconds remaining. It blows me away what you could end up doing with that. They need to get more promotion, need to get it more out in front and get more people seeing it. And by the way, because then the next step, then you bring the women's game into that, because the women's game is growing as well and becoming more and more popular. All right, so let's play some Puck Doku, guys. And always want to.
You missed Mark's heinous performance last week in Puck Doku, Filkowski.
Oh, that was terrible.
Let's see what we got here.
Who's going first?
It was terrible. I absolutely choked away. Anthony actually had a mistake, Filk, and instead I completely screwed the pooch, if you will. All right. So let's go first, and let's bring it in right there. All right. For everybody that's watching this on audio or listening on audio, your top screen is, or the top line, the X is St. Louis Blues, Tampa Bay Lightning, New York Islanders. And the Y-axis is Washington Capitals, Carolina Hurricanes, and 5+ goals in their playoff career. Phil, start us off.
All right. Top right, Islanders, Capitals. I think I'm going to take away Anthony's answer here. I'm going to go Jack Helen.
Okay, 0.7.
St. Louis for 5 playoff goals, bottom left. I'm going to go Tony McKegney. I use him a lot for Rangers, St. Louis. So,
okay, 0.4.
Tampa and Carolina. I'll go Rob DeMaio, former Ranger.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Actually, also a former Islander while we're at it.
Yes, Yep. Could he used him there too?
Yeah, there he is. Okay, so 0.5.
I'll use another former Ranger here that I know played for both of these teams, Carolina and Islanders. Mark Janssens.
Took away one of mine.
I figured as much. I'll use another former Ranger for the Islanders. 5 playoff goals. Give me Marty Straka.
Definitely 5 goals.
Okay.
St. Louis and Carolina. Go with Nelson Emerson.
Okay. 0.5.
Tampa Bay playoff. Go Patrick Poulin.
That's a good one.
0.1.
Tampa Bay, Washington. I'm actually going to use another former Ranger, Colin Forbes.
Wow. Names I didn't think were going to be there today.
He was a Ranger for a minute. And then the last one, this guy's got a little family in the NHL. Use Mark Hunter there.
That's
Mark Hunter, .2. Phil, you have a uniqueness score 0. Wow.
there's no beating him. We can only tie then.
That's right. That's right. So, Mr. LaRocco, why don't you go before my heinous performance is going to come?
All right. So Capitals Islanders, I'm going to use Aaron Ness. Wrong.
Capitals Islanders.
Yeah.
Aaron Ness.
Oh, man. I love it. Anthony sees my Jack Hillen and raises me an Aaron
Well, you know
Ness.
what I will do? Speaking of Jack Hillen, because I can use him in a different area. Mark, Hurricanes Islanders, I want you to use Jack Hillen.
Wow.
Okay.
I just
Jack
gave
Hillen.
him an answer for another area.
That's, you know what? That's why this band, he loves to do his themes too. So
And then Islanders 5 goals playoff. Stepan Pearson.
That's a good one.
how do just
Persson.
Yeah.
Funny enough,
Persson.
that was the trivia question that Anthony posed us in the chat the other day about the rookie points record for a defenseman.
Oh, how about that?
Most people would have thought it was Dennis Potvin, but it's actually Stepan Pearson.
Nope. Vladimir Malikov came close. Vladimir Malikov probably would have broken it and he played all 84 games that year.
Okay, Anthony, where to next?
Capitals Lightning. We'll do the brother of a friend of the show. We had we had Marty Biron on. I want you to put Matthew Biron there.
Oh, that's a good one.
Matthew Biron's a good one.
He was in the Ziggy Palffy trade from LA.
Yes, he was.
They got in return.
No, wait, I thought that wasn't in the return. I thought he was in the Florida trade. I thought they got him in the.
No, I thought it was Josh Green, Ole Jokinen, and Matthew Biron
and Jason Blake.
Yeah.
All right. I thought he was with Brenislav Meze and Ole Kavasha. So
no,
he wasn't in that deal.
The Florida trade was Roberto Luongo and Ole Jokinen for Ole Kavasha and Mark Parrish.
Yeah,
that was on draft day 2000.
Yeah, but Meze went and did that deal. I know that. So
Whalers, Hurricanes / Lightning. Do actually, come back to that one. For Lightning, 5 goals in a single playoffs. Do Marc-Andre Bergeron.
It's just 5 career goals, not single.
Oh yeah. All right, so there you go. Marc-Andre Bergeron.
So just to no, because I just wanted to let you know, just in case you were thinking it was.
Blues and 5 goals. The bottom. Do Constant Crossman.
Constant Crossman.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Whalers, Hurricanes / Blues. Do Sean Hill.
That's a good one too. It's a very good one.
Okay.
All right.
2 left.
The middle one. Do I don't know if I could stick with my theme here because I could have used Bergeron there, but now I can't. Trying to think if there's some. You know what? It might bring me to a 1%. Maybe Mark Bergevin.
Mark Bergevin.
So I don't think he has 5 playoff goals, so I don't think you could have used him there.
And the last one, but do Kevin Miller.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, Kevin Miller, unique the score of 1 for Anthony. All right.
I got to give a lot of respect to Anthony. He sticks with all Islander defensemen and makes it work somehow. I don't get it.
I love that Anthony could do his themes
too. It's not even like, oh hey, here's Dennis Potvin. No, let's get you Aaron Ness when I take Jack Hillen from him.
Yeah.
And he uses Jack Hillen elsewhere. It's like, what the fuck?
All right, since I'm just going to shoot from the hip anyway, I am going to do a little bit of cheating. I can use.
No, he doesn't have to be on that team, David. That's why I was trying to specify that.
Going to throw Matthew Biron right there. Islanders and Whalers. I'll come back to that one in a minute.
That's not Islanders and Whalers, by the way. I
know. I'm just hovering over it. I'm going to go with Dave Maloney over here.
You're wrong.
I went to. It should have been Don. It should have been Don. Let me redo this. I said the wrong guy.
Give you that one. We'll give you that one.
Yeah. It's not Don. I look, when you're trying to do it fast, you get it wrong.
Stop trying to do it fast. You don't have to do it fast.
I know, but I try to get there a little bit faster for everybody. Okay, I had the Hartford guy. Let's do Arturas Irbe.
What?
I was about to say Arturas
Irbe. Goalie.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm going one more time.
Me and Phil's face were
like, I really confused. I just confused Arturas Irbe and Tommy Soderstrom. Oh my god. This is getting so bad.
Who?
This is getting so bad. Oh, let's just go back to here. John Cullen. All right. This would eliminate me anyway. He's a 2%er. This is where you could use a constant crossman.
David, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. The description literally just says all it has to do is 10 career playoff goals.
Yeah, just 10 career playoff goals. He's got to score. He's got to play one regular season game with the team to make it count. Like, take for instance, for Tampa Bay, you could go Wendell Clark if you want to, because he's got 5. There he goes, 0.8.
Mark, I have to ask again. Who are you thinking when you used Arthur's Irbe? Who are you thinking?
Tommy Soderstrom.
Tommy Soderstrom's a goalie too. You wouldn't be able to use him.
No. You know, Anthony, I thought about the helmet, and then I went, wait a minute, that's wrong. This is why doing this on the spot's tough. By the way, I went Jeff Courtnall. He's a 0.5 there. So I should have done better in the middle, guys. I should have done better in the first 2 drafts of this.
Oh, man.
I think I might be boned at the moment. Eric Brewer was these 2, not these 2. Okay. The worst part is I had these and then I just completely forgot them. Capitals. I had this. I had a guy in mind just a second ago. It's ticking me off. Oh, Connolly, Brent Connolly. Oh, he's a 5. All right. Ray Ferraro. 0.9. All right. So I was bone with the other one. Washington and St. Louis. Did Pat Jablonski play for both teams?
I'm not sure if he played for Washington. I think
Roy Tabaracci played for
Tabaracci. Did Tabaracci play in St. Louis? I know he played in Washington.
I don't think he did. I think I'm combining those 2.
Jablonski did not play for Washington.
Okay. Well, we got to get this moving because we got obviously it's TJ Oshie.
Well, that would be extremely high.
That would be extremely high. Obviously, Scott Stevens.
Yeah, that's no good either. Jeff Courtnall would have fit there too.
Jeff Courtnall would have fit there because, after all, I think he had the goal that eliminated the Rangers in 1990. I know. I'm blanking. Craig Janney didn't play.
John
for Washington,
Druce
right?
didn't play in St. Louis, did he?
Oh, I'm boned anyway. So why don't we put him in? He did not. All right.
Okay.
Just to look for any good answers, guys. Obviously Oshie. Is that Kelly Chase that was all the way at the bottom? Stephen
Kelly
Leach
Chase
is
played
one
in
guy I
Washington?
should remember. Bill Holder is a guy I should have remembered.
Oh yeah, Bill Holder. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Dennis Chase. Keith the Coin.
I don't think Kelly Chase played in Washington. I know St. Louis for sure, but
Yeah. Sometimes, guys, we got to get it moving. So
that's all right.
By the way, what's funny is there's a guy that comes into my bar. His name is actually Alexander Steen. So I always tell him, I'm like, yeah, I always ask him if he has the jersey. He goes, yeah, actually I do. Brendan Saad, who was five plus goals in his career. Craig Janney was one of the guys I was trying to think of, trying to fit in there. Troy Brower is the guy I should have used.
Troy Brower
on the top.
Yeah.
Troy
Brower.
Did Cliff Ronning?
Check where Troy Brower landed.
Cliff Ronning did play in St. Louis, I believe, too.
Oh, he didn't play for Washington, actually. No, that wouldn't have worked either.
Troy Brower?
Yeah, that's right.
I thought he did. Huh.
But
See,
Cliff
that's a guy I
Ronning
should remember. Glenn Metropolitan. Brent
Yeah.
Johnson, that's a guy I should remember. With Troy Brower, I don't see him on this list. Oh, there he is, 4.7. Okay. Well, let's go on to this one, guys. Let's go to the pyramid.
What do we got?
All right. Starting at the bottom, you have 500 points in their career. Someone name anybody with 500 points.
Go with I don't know, Charlie Simmer.
Now, 500 points and a Red Wing.
Yep.
You could go.
Did Franz Nielsen have 500 points?
You could go Joe Murphy.
He did. I do think
I
he did.
don't know. No, you know what? Nielsen 473.
You could go Joe Murphy, Mark.
Let's go Joe Murphy because it's
what's after that?
Okay, after that is 30-goal season.
No. Hold off.
He used them already.
All right.
No, I mean, I'm sure there's 30-goal season, Red Wing, 500. Did Steve Thomas? Steve Thomas played for Detroit.
Steve Thomas, Jimmy Carson.
Yeah.
Did either one of them play for the Bruins?
No.
Okay, so I could use either Jimmy Carson or Steve Thomas.
You know what? You could use Mike Green here too.
I wouldn't be too popular, I think.
All right, let's go with Steve Thomas because he always goes low, which is amazing. Jimmy Carson was traded for Wayne Gretzky, but yet everybody forgets him.
All right, so now Bruins.
So now they need a 30-goal season, a Red Wing, a Bruin, and 500 points.
Red Wing, Bruin, 500 points.
I mean, Thomas Holmstrom?
Matthew Schneider didn't play for Boston, right?
Well, he didn't have a 30-goal season, so it doesn't matter.
No, yeah, you got to remember 30-goal season.
Holmstrom did have a 30-goal season.
He
he's got 530 points.
He only played for the Red Wings.
Oh, that's right. He did play. You know what I was thinking of? What point?
Marty LaPointe, yeah.
Marty LaPointe. Now he doesn't have 500 points anyway. So
he doesn't. Wow. How many points?
No, Marty LaPointe 381.
Wow. I thought he would have had higher than that.
And while we're at it, he topped out at 27 goals for the Red Wings.
I knew he got into the 20s like once or twice, but Yeah, Mario's saying he can't see the. Sorry, try to go on this. Mario's
you're
saying
trying
he
to
can't
expand
see
it? Okay.
Yeah, because Mario's
right.
saying he can't.
I got a guy with over 500 points, played for the Bruins and the Red Wings, and I just got to see if he won a Stanley Cup because he is a Stanley Cup winner, so we might
Who
need
is
to
it?
save him. Mike Knuble.
Knuble must have been a part of the 98 Wings team.
98 Red Wings, yes.
Yeah.
What about Johnny Busick?
John Busick?
Johnny Busick, that's a good one.
Yeah, he could, but that's going to be a super popular answer.
I don't know, Phil. All the old guys, they usually don't.
Oh, I'm telling you, that's a legendary player, dude. People are going to know him.
Yeah, I know. Just we'll debate that at the end, but Johnny Busick would be right there.
Johnny Busick would be right in either of these spots.
Adam Oates?
Adam Oates would also be right in both of these spots, but that's going to be a super popular answer as well.
And he didn't win.
Actually, no. He's not a Stanley Cup winner. He would only be right for this spot.
Yeah. Which might be low.
I think that's going to be high.
Red Wing.
There's somebody from the 80s I think we're probably missing.
The 80s?
Probably someone in the 80s I think that we're missing. Played for both of these teams. Because in the 90s, I'm having Sillinger never played for Boston, right?
He played for a ton of teams. I don't know.
Because I'm pretty sure Sillinger had a 30-goal year, right?
I'm laughing because there was one name I thought of, and he just didn't crack it. I thought about Reed Larson, who he had a bomb for a shot, but he topped out.
No, Sillinger never played for Boston, but yeah, he had a 30-goal year in 2006 when he got traded from St. Louis to Nashville.
Trying to think of Jason Allison never played for Detroit, right? Yeah.
No. He went from Washington to the Bruins to LA to Toronto.
Glenn Murray never played for Detroit.
Glenn Murray never played for Detroit.
No.
Robert Lang.
Ray Whitney never played for Boston.
Robert Lang.
I'm checking Robert Lang.
Robert Lang actually played for both of these teams.
He did.
I'm pretty sure Robert Lang played for both of these teams.
He did play for both these teams. He did win a Stanley. He did not win a Stanley Cup.
No, he didn't win a Stanley Cup.
703 points. So yeah, Robert Lang fits right here.
Robert Lang fits. Yeah.
Okay, I would use Robert Lang. Okay. Oh, you know what? We got to save Mike Knuble. Mike Knuble's
a flyer. Yeah, it's a flyer. Yeah, you're right.
I think you're right. Yeah. All right. So Stanley Cup winner. How many of them are there? I mean, you think we can't use Joe Murphy anymore because we used them.
That's why I told Mark to not do it.
Okay, all right. We could also reset it and do it over.
We still have we still have Johnny Busick as an option here,
which I think that's a good one. I don't think it's going to be that unique.
Actually, I don't think Joe Murphy played for the Bruins. We only would have.
Paul Coffey.
Yeah, I was about to say, Anthony, finish what you're saying.
Coffey. Yeah, Coffey.
Coffey did play for both.
Yeah. He
had a 40-goal season. Never mind a 30-goal season. He ended his career at Boston.
It just comes down to which in terms of Coffey.
Actually, Joe Murphy did play for Boston. Holy shit, we could have used him.
Okay, my mistake.
Coffey, you got Coffey, Busick. I don't know which one.
Let's go, Coffey.
Well, hold on. Knuble, you can't because you have to use him. He's
because he's at the top. And Paul Coffey could be at the top too because he also played for the Flyers.
Wait, hold on. What about like any of those players? Folks at 80s players. What about did Ken Hodge or Middleton play for Detroit?
No, Middleton went from the Rangers to the Bruins, and that actually hold on. Did Middleton finish his career in Detroit? Hold on. Give me a second.
Not doing that.
No, he
Nope.
only played for the Rangers and Bruins. Duguay finished his career in Detroit, but he never played for Boston, I don't think.
Van Riemsdyk doesn't have a cup, right?
No.
Otherwise, he would fit everything. That's why
He would have fit up to Boston.
Yeah. And Hodge, you said no?
Yeah, Hodge
Hodge
no.
Hodge went from the Rangers to Detroit to the Boston to the Rangers, and that was it.
Reggie Leach?
Never played for Detroit, I don't think. I think it was
I don't think he
Philadelphia.
won. He did at the end of his career. He did win a cup too. Reggie Leach fits all these. By the way, fitting that a Philadelphia Flyer who won a Conn Smythe.
I would think Leach would probably be lesser than Busick and Coffey. So yeah, I guess use.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I'll agree with you on that. So Reggie Leach right here.
Yeah, Reggie Leach. Yeah,
Reggie, the rifle Leach, unique to score a 3, and Mike Knuble.
Yeah.
Since he's a Stanley Cup winner, unique to score 62.
And
Mike Knuble was the number one answer. Reggie Leach would have been there. So if we flipped it, we would have had unique to score a 9.
Yeah,
because
I told you to use Joe Murphy.
Who the hell is who's that top answer?
Ivan Boldyrev?
Ivan Boldyrev? Oh my God! Yeah. Why is he the top answer there?
Was it Mike Krushelensky?
Mike Krushelensky, yeah.
Oh, holy damn! Shit. I didn't think of.
I told you to hold.
Yeah, I didn't think about him either. Whenever I think of Krushelensky, I always think of either Oiler or
LA.
I didn't remember him as a Red Wing at all.
It was on Toronto. I was on Toronto's 92, 93 team.
I wouldn't have remembered him as a Red Wing at all. He didn't even come to mind.
All right. It was a battle that we've been savoring for a week. You guys ready for some obscurities?
Oh, I got mine.
Oh, I got mine.
Oh, I got mine.
All right.
All right. Let's get our timers ready. I still really wish this timer would work up here.
Who's going first?
You could quiz me first, I guess.
All right. Yeah, I'll give Mark, I'll give Phil my 3 first.
Okay.
All right. All right, Phil, you're first. Let me just bring up here just to tell you the game is played.
And just to let you know the rules, everybody, we name 3 players for each team. They have to play for at least 5 NHL teams and 100 games played in the league. The player that names the most amount of teams wins the game.
All right. You ready, Phil?
All right.
All right, your first player, one of the toughest enforcers back in the day. He played in 696 career games. He played for 5 teams. His name is the Bomber, Ken Baumgartner.
Oh, you gotta be! No, I can't use him. I haven't picked.
Oh man! All right, that's funny.
Fuck.
This is actually the third time this has happened.
Oh shit!
All right, Anthony. While you fix that, I'll give Phil his 3.
Yeah, so you give him your 3 first, then. All right, yeah.
Fuck. Sorry, guys.
It's amazing when that happens.
What are the chances? Yeah.
Because there's also times where it's been the other way around.
Yeah.
All right.
Now
Phil.
I gotta pick somebody else too because I had him planned for Mark.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I got him for 2 teams I could think of off the top of my head. I believe. All right. All right. Phil, are you ready for this?
Go right ahead.
All right. My first guy, he played for 5 teams in the NHL, 761 games. His name is Michael Anderson, and it's spelled the Swedish way.
Oh, Islanders.
1.
Tampa Bay.
2.
Calgary.
Nope.
Florida.
Nope.
Ottawa.
Nope.
Toronto.
Nope.
San Jose.
No.
St. Louis.
Nope.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia got in just in time. So you got 3 of them. The only ones you didn't get, Buffalo and Hartford.
Buffalo and Hartford. Oh, shit.
Buffalo and Hartford. So let's get Filk a 3 right there.
3. Okay.
Okay. My next guy is I got the timer ready on this one. My next guy played 510 games, played for 7 NHL franchises.
Oh, Mark, sorry. So which player did you just give him?
Michael
Anderson.
Oh, I was thinking you gave him Nicholas Anderson. So when you said he played for Buffalo, I'm like, you told Phil the wrong answer. All right, my
no.
I was thinking.
Oh, there's a lot of names that went out there.
Yeah.
Why am I counting this? Okay, so he played for 7 NHL teams, 510 games, and his name is Chris Joseph.
Pittsburgh.
That's 1.
Philadelphia.
2.
St. Louis.
Nope.
Rangers.
Nope.
Toronto.
Nope.
Florida.
Nope.
Tampa Bay.
3.
Washington.
Nope.
Atlanta.
4.
Calgary.
Time. And Calgary is not on the list.
Okay.
You missed Edmonton, Vancouver, and Phoenix.
Edmonton.
So you got 4 out of the 7 right there.
All right, so that's 7.
That brings you up to 7 total. And let's get to the final one on my turn for you. He played 106 games in the NHL and played for 6 NHL organizations. His name is Yves Serrault.
Detroit.
No.
Montreal.
That's 1.
Chicago.
No.
Washington.
No.
Tampa.
No. Sorry.
Nashville.
That's 2.
St. Louis.
Nope.
Edmonton.
No.
Toronto.
No. And time. He got 2 out of that one. That brings you up to 9. You got Montreal and Nashville. You missed Colorado, Atlanta, Ottawa, and Calgary.
I was gonna say Atlanta. Shit. The other ones I was blanking on, but I was gonna say Atlanta.
Atlanta's got some funky guys. But yeah, you hear the name Yves, you should immediately say Montreal Canadiens.
You know, for a second, I confused him with Yves Racine, who I used before in this, and that's why I was like,
Mark, since Phil just got 3, I'll get, instead of going back to him with my 3, I'll give you your 3 first.
Okay, Anthony, I am ready to fail.
All right, Phil,
all right. Let me. You want me to
know
hit
when
the
you're
timer,
ready,
Anthony? Or
yeah, if you can, yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Mark, your first player played in 721 career games for 5 teams. His name is Brian Allen.
Brian Allen played for the Florida Panthers. The Tampa Bay Lightning?
No.
The Phoenix Coyotes?
No.
New York Rangers?
No.
No, he didn't play. Nashville Predators?
No.
Atlanta Thrashers?
No.
Vancouver Canucks?
Yes.
Okay, LA Kings?
No.
Edmonton Oilers?
No.
Calgary Flames?
No, he didn't. It wasn't Calgary. You missed Anaheim for sure. I know that.
No, I think he said Florida, Vancouver. He said Anaheim too.
No, he
did not.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. So
you
you
missed Anaheim. I know
you missed Anaheim, Carolina, and Montreal. So you got 2.
Yeah, I only got 2.
All right.
Brian Allen, I remember him from the Florida Panthers. He played a while there. Pretty good. The rest of his career was just a blur.
I remember he was an up-and-coming defenseman with Vancouver. Like in the NHL games in the early 2000s, his potential rating was like really high in those games. We all thought he was going to be a real solid defensive guy for years. But
All right, Mark. Your next player played in 307 career games over 5 teams. His name is Andy Hilbert.
Oh,
I know 2 right off the top of my head.
New York
Actually, 4.
Islanders,
Yep.
Boston Bruins,
Yep.
Anaheim Ducks,
No.
Detroit Red Wings,
No.
St. Louis Blues,
No.
Nashville Predators,
No.
Minnesota Wild.
Yes.
Team. Time.
Yeah.
You missed the Penguins and Blackhawks.
I was about to say the Pittsburgh Penguins. I forgot. I
remember when before he was an Islander, he played with Crosby
Crosby, yep.
in Crosby's rookie year and was like a point per game playing with
Yep.
him.
He had 18 points in 19 games in 05-06.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I remember him. I remembered him with the Islanders. Remembered him with the Bruins. It's just that as soon as right before I wouldn't have got it in, but I did remember him with the Penguins at the very last second.
All right.
All right.
You got 2 again.
Let's get the rest of this debacle over with.
I'm surprised you get the Wild. He played for 4 games at the end of his career. Was that just a total guess?
It's a total guess. You
Yeah.
got to go with expensive franchises with these guys sometimes.
Yeah. All right. So you got a total of 4 through 2 rounds, Mark, for me?
Yep.
All right.
No,
your
5.
last player.
I got 3 on the last one.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So your last player played for 6 teams over 231 career games. His name is Richard Jackman.
Richard Jackman played for the Rick Jackman played for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes.
The New York Islanders.
No.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
No.
St. Louis Blues.
No.
Detroit Red Wings.
No.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes.
Okay. Calgary Flames.
No.
Ottawa Senators.
You missed the Panthers, Ducks, Stars.
I knew that the Ducks and the Stars, the Panthers, I forgot about.
And the Bruins. So you got Toronto and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were too many Jackmans around that time. You had Barrett. You had
Tim. Yeah,
Tim
Richard
Jackman. So yeah, Tim Jackman was the Islander, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's where it was.
Yeah.
All right. So I only got the 7. Geez. All right. Anthony.
Yeah, you each guys give me mine. Yeah.
I'll give you my 3 for you then.
Okay.
Okay. And I got you right here.
All right, Anthony. So this player has played in 377 games over 8 years for 7 teams. Anthony, this is Andreas Johansson.
Rangers.
Yep.
Islanders.
Yep.
Penguins.
Yep.
Flames.
Yep.
Bruins.
Nope.
Sharks.
Nope.
I should know this. The Predators.
Yep.
5. Who are the other?
And time.
You missed Ottawa and Tampa.
He played for the Maple Leafs too, right? Did Anthony say that one?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
All right.
Yeah, he had an Ontario team, right? But he didn't have the right team.
As soon as you said Andreas Johansson, I had 4 of them. So I remember him for the Islanders and the Rangers and the Penguins.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony. This next player played in 521 NHL games over 13 years with 6 teams. Anthony, this is Pat Conacher.
The Senators.
No.
Winnipeg Jets.
No.
Blackhawks.
No.
Coyotes.
No.
Blues.
No.
Oilers.
Yes.
Islanders.
Yes.
Rangers.
Yes.
Canadians?
No.
Lightning?
No.
Ducks?
And time.
No.
So you missed the Devils, LA, and Calgary.
All right.
I laughed immediately because I can name 3 right away because he's the first guy to play for the Rangers, Islanders, and Devils.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the game in '95 where he scored to take the lead for the Kings against the Rangers. So I remember that right away. Is he any relation to Corey Conacher?
No. No.
Oh, so wait. How many do we have for Anthony so far?
I got 5 and then 3, so 8.
3, so 8.
There you go. Thank you. Okay.
All right, Anthony. This might be the hardest one, I think.
All right.
All right. This player has played 256 games over 10 years, over 6 teams. Anthony, this is Bob Halkitis.
I've never heard of him. There's gonna be guesses.
How can
Bruins?
You said Bruins?
Yeah.
No.
Sabres?
Yes.
Canadians?
No.
Jets?
No.
Whalers?
No.
Nordiques?
No.
Flames?
No.
Maple Leafs?
Yes.
Devils?
No.
Penguins?
Time.
No.
2.
So you got Buffalo and Toronto. You missed Tampa, the Islanders, Detroit, and LA.
Damn.
All right. But Anthony takes the lead with that one since he got 2.
Yeah, so he's at 10. Yeah.
All right. So you got Phil who has 9, and I'm within striking distance.
It's a close race.
Yeah, it's actually not as bad as what
All
I
right.
think.
Do you want to go take Filks, or do you want me to give?
I'll take Filks.
I still need time. Give me. I'll take whoever.
Okay. Anthony, I think you got to give yours to Filk.
Yeah, and you have to give him yours too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I gave you mine.
I still need to get.
Oh, you gave. Yeah, you gave. Yeah. You gave Phil. All right. Yeah. So yeah, you want. So Filk, you want mine?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, Phil. Your first player, he played in 705 career games. He played for 6 teams. Mark, you have the timer?
Got it.
All right. Bob McGill.
Wow. Buffalo?
No.
Pittsburgh?
No.
Islanders?
Yes.
Devils?
No.
Ottawa?
No.
Florida?
No.
St. Louis?
No.
Calgary?
No.
Edmonton?
No.
Philadelphia?
No.
Boston?
No.
Toronto?
Time.
Yes. He got Toronto in. So he got Toronto and the Islanders. He missed Detroit, Hartford, and Chicago and San Jose.
Wow. Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one.
All right.
How was that, Mark?
It's called the grunt.
All right, Phil. Your next player played in 803 career games. He played for 5 teams and was an NHL coach. His name is Dean Evison.
Minnesota?
No.
Dallas?
Yes.
Philadelphia?
No.
Washington?
Yes.
Chicago?
No.
St. Louis?
No.
Philadelphia?
No.
Tampa?
No.
Chicago?
No.
St. Louis?
Time.
No.
I meant San Jose. Fuck, I meant to say San Jose.
So you got Washington, Dallas. You missed Calgary, San Jose, and Hartford.
Fuck, I knew San Jose. Fuck.
All right, so we got 2 right there.
I didn't say San Jose and I said St. Louis. What a fucking idiot.
At least you didn't confuse Arturas Urbe and Tommy Soderstrom because
and I said St. Louis twice too. I meant to say San Jose that last time. I fucked up.
All right. Your last player, Phil, played in 250 career games over 5 teams and is a NHL general manager. His name is Matthew Darche.
Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Montreal.
Yes.
Islanders.
No.
Chicago.
No.
Edmonton.
No.
Florida.
No.
Tampa Bay.
You said Tampa.
I said Tampa. Nashville.
Yes. 2 more.
Buffalo.
No.
Minnesota.
No.
San Jose.
Yes.
Time.
You missed. You missed Columbus. You got 4 out of 5.
All right, so Phil brings it up to 17. That is a tall order for me to finish ahead of. But I need to have a good showing. All right, Phil, you ready for me? You want Anthony to get his?
You can go, I guess. Did I not take? No, I took yours already.
You took mine. Yeah.
He means give.
Oh, I need to grab one more. I'm sorry.
All right, so Mark, I'll take your 3 then.
Okay, here we go. Anthony. All right, let's get that timer ready. All right. Anthony, my first player, played 431 games in the NHL for 6 teams. His name is Brian Glynn.
Bruins?
No.
Flames?
Yes.
Sabres?
No.
Sharks?
No.
Ducks?
No.
Predators?
No.
Flyers?
No.
Penguins?
Nope.
Coyotes?
Nope.
Sharks?
No.
Maple Leafs?
No, and you're timed out on that anyway.
Got 1.
Yeah. Sorry,
Oh, no problem. I had it anyway, just in case. Yeah, he played for Hartford, Calgary, which was what you got, the North Stars, Oilers, Ottawa, and Vancouver. So,
wow, that was a good one, Mark. That was a real good. You would have gotten me on a lot of those.
Yeah, he got me. I honestly, I don't even know if I could say vividly. I know who he is.
I'm surprised, Phil. You wouldn't remember him in Vancouver. He played in the '94 finals. So that'd be one way to remember that one. All right. Next guy. He's got a bit of a funny name in a way, or a famous name, but he played 267 games in the NHL for 5 teams. His name, Steve Martins.
Islanders.
That's one.
Hurricanes.
No.
Whalers.
Yes, 2.
Rangers.
Nope.
Penguins.
Nope.
Senators.
No.
Blues.
3.
Blackhawks.
Nope.
Oilers.
Nope.
Devils.
Nope.
Time.
3.
You missed Ottawa and
I said
Tampa
Senators.
Bay. Oh, wait, no, you did get it. That.
Oh, no.
You got no. Hold on. You said Ottawa?
Yeah, you said no.
You said Ottawa?
Yeah. I said
I thought he did.
Absolutely.
Okay, the only one you missed was Tampa then.
Well, I got 4 then.
You got 4 of the 5.
Yeah. That's what
my mistake.
I said Ottawa and you said no. I'm like, I'm looking him up the minute this is over because I know he played for Ottawa.
Yeah, you know what? Again, well, my mistake. But I hope it didn't trip you up on the rest of it. But
no, it was fine. It just threw me off because I considered using him at one point. So
yeah. Well, I always like to try to throw a bone. That was a little bit of one. All right. And lastly, speaking about a guy that'll throw you a bone. This might put you over the top, Anthony. He played 236 games in the NHL for 6 different organizations. His name is Jeff Toms.
Rangers.
1.
Lightning.
2.
Flyers.
Nope.
Oilers.
No.
Penguins.
3.
Flames.
No.
Devils.
No.
Sharks.
Nope.
Blackhawks.
5.
No.
All right, 3.
Oh, I thought you were going to breeze through that one, Anthony.
He missed Washington, I know for sure.
Islanders, Washington, and the Panthers.
18 then.
So 18, you got the 3. I thought that was going to put you over the top and you were going to be unbeatable. After that, I thought you were going to sweep.
All right, Mark. I got your 3.
In the mortal words of Bender, I am boned. Got to come up with a good run.
All right. So, Anthony, you want the timer? Or?
Yeah, I'm getting the timer.
Okay,
all right.
Just tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, Mark. This first player has played 759 games over 15 years with 6 teams. Mark, this is Scotty Upshall.
Scotty Upshall played for the National Predators, the Philadelphia Flyers, the Phoenix, Arizona Coyotes, the Florida Panthers, and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Nope.
No.
Boston Bruins.
Nope.
Time.
Detroit Red Wings.
You missed St. Louis and Columbus, Mark. So we got 4 out of that. He's got a chance here.
Gave myself a chance with Scotty Upshall, but don't worry. Don't worry, it's coming down to the wire on this. So, all right.
All right. Anthony, you ready?
Yep.
This player has played 765 games over 15 years with 6 different teams. Mark, this is Bob Basson.
Bob Basson played for the Quebec Nordiques, the New York Islanders, the Detroit Red Wings.
Nope.
The St. Louis Blues.
Yep.
Minnesota North Stars.
Nope.
The Tampa Bay Lightning.
Nope.
Hartford Whalers.
Nope.
Colorado.
Time.
Calgary Flames.
You were so close. I couldn't give you Minnesota North Stars because technically it was the Dallas Stars when he was there. Chicago and then Calgary.
So you got 3.
I got Calgary at the very end after you said time. That's where you heard the disappointment. So
it was after the time, Anthony?
Yeah, it was after the time.
Oh, it was after the time. It was after the time. I didn't get it.
All right.
So it's just 3, so that puts me to 14. He had the game-winning goal of Game 1 of the 95 first-round series between the Rangers and the Nordiques.
That is
correct.
Quebec.
Him as a New York Islander.
Correct. Wow.
So what this last player you have for him? How many teams did he play for?
5.
I got to be perfect to win.
To win, at the very least.
Oh man,
5.
I think he could. I think he. This
right.
might be.
No, this is the boned one. This is the boning.
No, I don't know, man. All right, so this player has played 465 games over 11 years. Anthony, you ready?
Yep.
Mark, this is Mike Donnelly.
Oof.
Mike Donnelly played for the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah.
Calgary Flames.
No.
St. Louis Blues.
No.
Edmonton Oilers.
No.
Vancouver Canucks.
No.
The Anaheim Ducks.
No.
San Jose Sharks.
No.
The Dallas Stars.
Yes.
Okay. And
time.
The Detroit Red Wings.
So you missed all 3 New York teams: the Rangers, Islanders, and Sabres.
Wait, I didn't say the Rangers at one point?
No. No.
I didn't hear you say Rangers.
He didn't say Rangers.
Well, wait, hold on. Wait, you said all three New York teams he played for?
Buffalo and the Rangers and the Islanders.
There you go. Okay, so actual New York teams, not the Metro teams.
You got 16.
16.
Oh, man, what a race.
This was a respectable one.
I honestly thought you were going to get St. Louis with Scotty Upshall.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get. I thought he was going to get.
Completely forgot about Scotty Upshall in there. So
I didn't think you were going to get. And with Basson, I thought you were going to get. I thought you were going to get the. You got St. Louis with Basson, and I feel bad because I would love to have given you the Dallas one, but we made that rule.
yeah, no. It's well, again, I called them the North Stars specifically. If I would have said the Stars, then you would have had to figure it out.
Yeah, the Stars. Well, yeah,
yeah. However, in both cases, I thought about Calgary for both players just after time expired. So
yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, I remembered Mike Donnelly from LA and NHL playing on there. So
LA.
All right. Kevin, welcome right there from the Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know who Kevin is a fan of. He kind of vague with that. Maybe the Devils. I'm not sure.
Well, you say can't believe we lost last night. Probably for the Islanders.
Yeah.
So
maybe an Islanders fan too.
Yeah, because I do have it on all things Islanders as well.
Yeah,
but,
I mean it could be. Yeah. That's actually good.
But what was Mario's rule suggestion?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not sure what he.
What was your rule suggestion again, Mario?
Yeah, I would love to know what rule that is.
All right. Let's take a couple questions in case if you guys have any. And Phil's got to get out of here soon. Next week we got to do an early show again because I got it'd probably be 11 o'clock to 1:30 because I got to take my mom to the airport.
I'll tell you what, I think Kevin is talking about the Islanders, an Islander fan. I have to say, the Islanders that lost last night was disappointing, but they got lucky though because all the teams below them lost, so that was a huge help. Columbus, Philly, Detroit, Ottawa, all losing. That was huge. So that means no matter what happens tomorrow, when the Islanders play again on Friday against Philly, they'll still be in a playoff spot. So, but they have to start taking care of business. That game against Philly on Friday is a 100% must win. Especially with Philly, Philly plays Detroit tomorrow. So one of those teams is going to pick up points. So I think if you're an Islander fan, you want Detroit to win because if Philly picks up no points that game and then lose to the Islanders on Friday, I think Philly's done at that point, at least for catching the Islanders perspective. So, I think if you're an Islander fan, you're certainly hoping Carolina does you a favor and beats Columbus again like they did the other night. And then you hope that Buffalo beats Ottawa, which is obviously very possible as well. But they're getting help. They need 4. I think they need 4 points this their next 2 games. I think they need to beat Philly and then at least get 1 point from Carolina on Saturday. But it's going to be a close race to the finish. That is for damn sure.
Anthony, we were talking about this earlier before he got on. It's just like sorry, Phil. It's just it's like the Royal Rumble. It's just every other day there's a team that you're like, hey, the Islanders lost. Can you take advantage of it? And then you get the other teams that step up and go, the hell you are. Then they smack them right down again. Like again, it's you think one team is out, then suddenly it's like the Flyers have entered the match. And the Capitals have entered the match. It's just there's constantly everybody going in and out, and you'd love to get this is like teams playing well, and you can't get a handle on it. Unlike the West, where so many teams play poorly, and you can't.
Yeah. So yeah. No. I mean that's the rule that we.
Yeah, we kind of got that one, Mario. Yeah, like you had to say the Minnesota North Stars.
Yeah, it can't just be Minnesota. It just can't be Minnesota when you have a player that's Minnesota and Dallas, stuff like that. So it's got to be the Minnesota North Stars or the Dallas Stars.
Because if you say Minnesota, it's the Wild technically right now. Because
because that not only that, but the North Stars and the Dallas Stars, it's the same franchise, but it's two different locations, and one player could have played in one location and not the other. So we just try to make it a little more specific. So it's harder that way.
Yeah, that rule obviously made a lot of sense to you. But no, I think in both conferences, I think the race to the finish here is going to be interesting. And the East, the East specifically, there are a bunch of those teams that are playing. And I think personally, if you, and this is a big if, because I don't think the Penguins or the Bruins are 100% safe. But if you do want to say you think the Penguins are going to finish second and the Bruins are going to the first wild card, you're talking 2 playoff spots, third in the Metro and a wild card spot. And when you look at the Blue Jackets, they were hot for a while, but they've cooled off. They dropped a couple of their last few games. They got the Hurricanes again tomorrow, and then they play the Winnipeg Jets team is fighting for a playoff spot. That's going to be a tough game. They play the Red Wings, which again, that game, no matter the result, is kind of good for the Islanders if they take care of their own business, because you gain ground on one of those teams that lose. The Blue Jackets play the Sabres. They play the Bruins again, which is good. The Canadiens. So I think out of the teams remaining, the Blue Jackets and the Islanders have the hardest schedule. But I think it's going to come down to which team gets the hottest down the stretch. But I think if you're talking the Islanders specifically, you have to beat Philadelphia on Friday and get 1 point from Carolina. But if you're a Blue Jacket fan, I think if you lose to Carolina again tomorrow, you're going to worry a little bit, because if they lose to Carolina and then the Islanders beat Philly, they'll be 3 points up on them, and that's going to be hard to make up, considering the Islanders hold the tiebreaker. So my personal feeling is the Islanders hold on to get third in the Metro, and then either one of Columbus or Detroit make the wild card. I'm starting to sour on Ottawa. I don't think Ottawa is going to be able to get it across the finish line, but that's just my kind of.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Ottawa, they're too inconsistent for me. The one thing I worry about with the Islanders right now, I worry about 2 games. I worry about that Carolina game, and I worry about the Montreal game, because Montreal smacked them around the last time they played.
They did, yeah.
They smacked them around badly. And Carolina, that last game is really kind of a wild card, because 1, what position are the Islanders in? And 2, does Carolina clinch, and did they start resting their guys a little bit? Like giving them.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do. I think they want to knock out the Islanders. If there's banged up guys, that's a different story.
I don't think they fear the Islanders. I think the Islanders are in the position where I think it's tougher for them, because Carolina, even with the Islanders, even with Sorokin, and Sorokin's been pretty good in previous years. Like has he been like this good in the past? No, but he's been up there, like one of the better goalies in the league, and they've been able to beat Sorokin in the playoffs. So I don't think Sorokin presents that fear factor for them.
Carolina's the one team I don't want the Islanders to play. I do not want the Islanders to play. The Hurricanes have their number. For whatever reason, they just have their number in the playoffs. I don't want Carolina.
I just don't think that again, I think it's the other way around, Mark. I think it's the Islanders don't want to see Carolina. They don't.
No, but it's not that they don't want to see him. Carolina wants to knock him out. Like you don't let a team get off the mat. Don't let a team get off the mat. You have a chance to knock them out, you do it. Because if you don't, you might be eating your words.
When you talk about knockout, are you talking about the last game of the year? Because
if you're talking about the last game of the year where you're going to start resting players, No,
Is that what you're referencing? Because this coming game with them on Saturday is not going to be knocking them out.
No. Of course not. No, the last game of the year.
The last game. Oh yeah. Well then, yeah. Obviously, the Hurricanes are likely going to have nothing to play. You would think they have nothing to play for, but if you're the Islanders,
but here's the thing: that goes both ways. Maybe they rest guys, but that team is literally nothing to play for. So they're just going out and playing for the thing. The Islanders could be gripping their sticks tightly in that game.
And that's why I'm glad that the Hurricanes are playing the Blue Jackets tomorrow, because the Hurricanes are still very much playing hard, and that's good for the Islanders because that's going to be a big game for Columbus.
And Columbus, they lost to them last night.
Yeah.
Well, they got shellacked 5-2 in that game. So I mean, if Columbus, you just look at the strength of the schedules. So Columbus has Carolina again tomorrow. You have Winnipeg who's fighting, Detroit who's fighting, Buffalo's fighting for a division, Montreal's fighting for a spot, Boston's fighting for a spot, and Washington's fighting for a spot. They have every single team that they face for the rest of the year, these last 7 games, they are playing for something.
Yeah.
This is
now the team that's sort of in the race that has the easiest strength of schedule for the East is Washington. That's why I was like, watch out for them, because they got 7 games remaining. They have 4 tough games if you consider Columbus as one of the tough games. But guys, think about it like this: the littlest mistake can really change things around for your franchise right now. Think about this one: if Charlie Coyle just turned his hands over and gets that puck towards the corner, Pavel Zacha doesn't get that puck, doesn't put it in the net to tie the game, and you get an extra point.
Yeah.
Boston doesn't get 2, so Boston's only ahead by 4 right now.
Every team, you can say this about every team, but every team has one of those games where they say if you miss the playoffs by a point, you're going to think of that. And the Blue Jackets were up 3-0 in that game, and they only got 1 point and they lost. If they miss the playoffs, that's going to be a game that that's going to be a game that you look to.
Yeah.
And every team, like I said, every team has one of those.
I look at the Pittsburgh game with the Islanders, but I said to Mark before you came on, I also think that I have to look at Matthew Darche if they miss it, because they went and got Andre Palat, who really hasn't been all that good for them.
Yeah.
And then they went and got Braden Shen, who's been better, but it's still not the difference maker, and they never addressed center ice. So it's for me, I think there's multitude of blame if they miss. I don't think they're going to, but if they miss, you're going to have to look at that game and then the general manager.
Well, the other thing, I'm looking at the coach first.
I know you mentioned Braden Shen. You said he's been good, but he's got 10 points in 13 games for the Islanders. So I actually think he's turned out to be a good addition so far.
But 3 of those points came in 1 game. So if you're looking at the grand scope of it, I don't think he's been bad by any means. But I just don't think he was the needle mover that you should have given up a first-round pick for.
Yeah, I agree. And I think with Palat and Shen, he was getting them for the value
for experience.
Yes, if they make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, then it's going to look really bad. But if the
that's the problem.
Yes,
but for me, I would have looked at Trocheck. I would have said, hey, if I'm going to give up, all right. So if I was going to give up assets, any type of assets, I rather would have given it up for Trocheck than for Shen at that point, because Trocheck's a better player at this point in his career. And you needed a guy that could come in, play your style of hockey, be an agitator, and contribute at a second line level. I don't think Shen is a second line forward at this point. I think he's a middle 6 guy.
He is, yes, very, very, very much so.
That's just
you guys also know that I'm not the biggest fan of Patrick Waugh as a coach. They don't seem to know what they're doing minute by minute. And then now it's period by period, but now it seems like almost minute by minute. Like they had a 3-1 game. It looked like they were going to blow the doors off of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh then comes around, 4 goals to close out the last.
But that 3-1 game, it was a little bit of a mirage though, because they were up 3-1, but they were still playing really poorly defensively. So I wasn't shocked at all at that. that.
But Anthony, they've done that a lot this year. They've had games where they've been on the ropes. Sorokin keeps them in. Next thing you know, they pop 2 in the net, tie the game, or take the lead, and then that's what bails them out. It's just I just really wish I just knew what I had with the Islanders every single game. But you could argue that with almost every single Eastern Conference team right now.
I don't know if I bought that. I think they've been pretty consistent all year. I mean, I don't think they've lost. They haven't lost like 3 in a row since very early in the season.
No, that's true. That is true. What I talk about is like in the middle of games. Like they'll have games where they're the ones out shooting guys, or the game like Montreal where they're getting grossly outplayed, but then they have a 2-1 lead going into the locker room.
I don't necessarily know if that's because you don't know what they are. I just think that's the ebbs and flows of a hockey game. I don't.
That's true. That you got a point with that one too. It could be that. It's just like that's my frustration with them.
I think with Patrick Waugh is, Darsh, obviously, if they miss the playoffs, let's just put this on the table. He's not going anywhere. This year was supposed to be, they were supposed to be bad. Patrick Waugh, though, if they miss, I only say this because Patrick Waugh wasn't Darsh's hire. So if they miss the playoffs, I think Darsh may look at who's out there and then kind of decide, do I want my own guy? This is my chance, or do I bring Waugh back? But if the Islanders hold on and make the playoffs, I would say there's less than a 5% chance Darsh would make a coaching change.
I think it would have to be if they make the playoffs, it would have to be a bad.
Yeah, you're talking like Islanders Rangers 94, where none of the games were even close.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. And Mario, it's easy to say this, but for Thomas and Kyrou, I know they were in the mix for them, but then you're giving up a lot. So Darsh did not want to part with any of his high-end assets in year 1 of a retool. It didn't make sense, and now it's paying off. Look, Victor Eklund, his season ended. He joined Bridgeport. Yzerman joined Bridgeport. Keyshawn Aitchison, his team's in the playoffs, but once they get bounced, if Bridgeport's still playing, he's joining Bridgeport. So you're starting to see the Islanders' high-end prospect pieces join the organization, and you're really seeing the future that's been talked about since Darsh came on. You're starting to see these guys become closer to being New York Islanders, and Darsh wasn't gonna veer off the plan in a year where they were surprising. So yeah, I would have liked a guy like Thomas or Kyrou. Sure, it would have moved the needle, but he kept all his chips. And you know what, too? Now you're grateful that he did keep him, because now, let's just say, Mark, there's the talk of Austin Matthews. If that kind of player becomes available in the summer, then look, now he has all his pieces still. So in retrospect, yeah, I wanted one of those guys, but I'm glad that he was patient. He held on to him. And who knows? You don't know who's going to become available in the summer. Does Brady Tkachuk say, okay, now I'm out? Does Austin Matthews say, yeah, I'm out? And if they do, now all of a sudden the Islanders are in contention because they have some of the assets. So,
I also think, and by the way, Anthony, so just we haven't mentioned them at all throughout this entire thing. We've talked about the Flyers, we talked about the Capitals, we talked about every team in the playoff race except for one, and that's a picture of inconsistency. The Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are they?
Well, and here, I'm glad you brought them up. And here's the reason why I say I think, that I have them over Ottawa for a wild card spot. Mark, Ottawa's next 4 games. Tomorrow, Buffalo, then the Minnesota Wild, then the Carolina Hurricanes, then the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then they play the Panthers, who just waxed them. You would think they would beat them, but then they got Florida. So specifically the next 4 games, Buffalo, Minnesota, Carolina, Lightning, the Red Wings must be licking their chops saying, okay, one of our Atlantic Division foe here is about to bail out, because those are 4 tough games. If they go 1-3 in those 4 games, I think you could say night to the Senators' playoff hopes at that point, because I don't see, because I have to pull up Detroit's schedule now, Mark, because in that span where they have those 4 tough games, are the Red Wings going to drop as many as Ottawa might? Because I don't know if they will. Let me just take a look here. So
I'm going with the Red Wings right now.
Oh, yeah. Look at Detroit's got the Philly, the Rangers, the Wild, and Blue Jackets. So I would say that's a little weaker than what the Senators are looking at.
It's a little bit weaker, but the difference is you still got, and they got the Flyers twice, by the way. But they're going to get the Rangers. Here's the thing. You always got to be cautious about playing divisional teams because they're not going to want to be the punching bag. So as I look at the Florida Panthers of the last game of the season, watch out, Detroit. That might be what knocks you out. But you got, and as I said before, Anthony, you got all these teams, they're fighting. If the Islanders want to make it, they're going to have to beat the guys that they're playing against.
Philly, yes. They absolutely have to beat Philly on Friday. They have to beat Philly on Friday. Especially if Philly beats Detroit tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's why I said earlier, if you're an Islander fan, you want Detroit to beat Philly because yes, then Detroit would get 1 point behind the Islanders. But two things: one, they're in different divisions, so they're not a threat for that third spot in the Metro. And two, if the Flyers lose to Detroit and then the Islanders beat Philly, that's 2 games in a row where Philly got no points and the Islanders gained. So I think it's a no-brainer for the Islanders to want Detroit to beat Philly tomorrow. But yes,
actually, by the way, I say all the time that the 3-goal lead is the worst in hockey because you're not thinking about it. You're thinking you're going to put it on cruise control. You let in one, no problem. Then you let in another one, then you're on your heels. And that's how quickly that works. Anthony,
but when you're comparing Detroit and Ottawa specifically, again, I think just based on the schedule, I think Detroit has the more favorable schedule, especially over the next 4 games.
Right, but they do get Minnesota as well. So
yeah, Minnesota's tough. Yeah, Minnesota's very tough.
But you get all these teams that they don't want to see other players go, and I wouldn't want to play the Rangers right now because it looks like they're firing on.
Well, and they're also playing the role of spoiler. So I mean,
yeah,
this time of year, anybody could beat anybody, and we talked about it, I think last week on the show, Mark. It was the year where the Islanders they lost the game and it looked like they were probably going to be done, and then Chicago did them a favor and somehow beat Pittsburgh and gave the Islanders another opportunity. And the Islanders ended up winning. So that just goes to show, anybody could beat anybody. So the Rangers playing the Red Wings, that's a game the Red Wings can't take for granted. They have to beat the Rangers. That's a team you have to beat this time of year. And look how the Islanders played the Blackhawks. The perfect example. The Islanders couldn't get it done. If they would have had those 2 points right there, things would be looking a lot better. So this time of year, you can't take any team for granted. And like I said, so far, the Islanders are getting help. Last night could have been disastrous, but literally everybody lost. So
the old expression, what's the most dangerous hitter? The one with the bat in his hand. That's why you can't ever take anyone for granted, especially right now, and especially where there's 6 games remaining for the Islanders. So they got to make sure they do everything they can.
And this is where teams are going to catch up because the Islanders have another back-to-back. So after Saturday, they're going to have 4 games left. They're off for 3 or 4 days, and that's the time period where all these teams are going to catch up. And that's why I think if you're the Islanders, you have to get at least 3 of the 4 points in these next 2 games. Yeah, if you get all 4, honestly, I think they're going to be in fabulous shape. If they get 3, very good shape. If they get 2, borderline. Anything less than 2, I think they'd really be playing with fire here. But they need to beat Philly on Friday and go.
By the way, as Gabriel's saying right here, if the Rangers continue to play Igor, there's a chance to get goal lead. You know what? Dylan Garon's playing really well too. But by the way, Josh asked earlier, Anthony, that go ahead. One of the questions you asked earlier, Josh, I'm going to go back to that one real quick. The Eastern Conference seems weaker than normal. Does the President's Trophy Rangers run through this Eastern Conference team? The short answer on it is yes. They blow right through this because I don't think the hardest team they played was the Carolina Hurricanes that year, and they went up 3-0 on them. However you want to say the game 4 and 5 went, and with the way game 6 looked like it was going, I think the Rangers ended up winning that one. Let me double down on this. and say, not only that, the 2021 New York Islanders would breeze through this Eastern Conference. This Eastern Conference is ripe for the plucking. And Carolina Hurricanes, if you can't win this Eastern Conference this year, shame on you. You need to go back to the drawing board. But they're not going to be able to. They're just going to keep on tweaking. But I'm not sure if Tampa would be a tough series. I think Tampa was a much tougher series in 2022 because you had more prime Vasilevsky, and the tail end of prime Steve Stamkos is better than at that time. He had a 100-point season, I think, the year before. So it was Tampa was right there. Trying to think if there's any other ones, but I think you can look back almost at any team, like even last year's Panthers, and there's so much parity. This is the most wide open Eastern Conference I have ever seen. I really do. Maybe more wide open than 1998, where the Washington Capitals made the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time, but they got swept by the Detroit Red Wings. But that's where that goes. All right, guys. We're gonna actually call it here, guys. Thanks everybody for watching, both on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, everything. We do this show every week. We love to do it. Make sure, poised to go up 3-0 before the collapse. Jacob Trouba doesn't take penalties, then the Rangers don't blow that lead. Well, that's going to be interesting, Mario. If Lou has any say on that one. Guys, everybody, thank you very much for watching on different platforms. Welcome back to Facebook, streaming on there now. And it's always great to be doing this. Look for more videos this week and some more shorts. I should have coming up the Rangers 100 anniversary team. I should have had it earlier in the season, and then I kept on putting it off. So here I am. I'll get it out there. You're not really going to get many surprises. The biggest surprise is going to be in net, where the biggest competition is, and a little bit for defense. So we have to figure out with that. Forwards, pretty much you can figure it all out from there. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. We will see you on the next one.